Hello, everyone. Welcome to Silence of Shadows, our Vampire the Masquerade show. We had 1 week off, which is probably good because a lot happened and it was
You can
intense.
see why we had a week off. I am not in my office anymore. I am mid-move.
And of course, Ollie, as you can see, is not with us today, but he will be returning with us again. This was a scheduled day off, so no worries on that front. First and foremost, I'm going to go through all of our announcements, and then we'll get the show on the road because I'm curious to see what happens. So let's get some roll-ups in chat. For our supporter today is Kirby, and if you'd like to become a supporter, you can become a supporter too by becoming a legend tier or above on our Patreon, patreon.com/rollforit. And of course, we have some Ascension gubbins out on Patreon: Reaper of Corn, Scarecrow, and Brondel Bad Bronze's stats. And of course, Mass Effect Merc's character sheets are out as well. If you'd like to go check those out before tomorrow's episode, we highly recommend it. And beyond that, I know that coming soon we do have Mass Effect Merc's Guide to the Hades Gamma Cluster, which will be pretty exciting. So if you're interested in that, definitely stay tuned. We'll let you know whenever that's coming around. And that is it for our initial announcements. How you can support us is Patreon primarily. Patreon.com/rollforit. We have so many different backer rewards type of things that you can do. So if you'd like to get MP3s, you want to help name NPCs, or you want to help support an episode and become a legend tier, you also get access to a privately GM'd game by one of our lovely cast members. So if that's something that interests you, definitely go check out our Patreon. Not only do you get to help support us and let us continue doing what we love, but you also get something in return for that. Beyond that, you can also support us by, subscribing here on Twitch. This will give you access to the VODs early as well as the emotes. And if you become a member on YouTube, you also get access to those emotes. And for both of those, you get access to our Discord as well as our Patreon patrons do as well. And that's kind of like where you can chat with us behind the scenes and ask us questions and things of that sort. And so it's a nice place to hang out. And of course, there's people who end up grouping up together. We've had people meet each other and become best friends. So it's kind of been a cool experience seeing that come to life. And I think that covers all of our ways that you can support us for monetary means. If you'd like to support us and you can't support us in a monetary means, that's okay. We want you to make sure that you're taking care of yourself first and foremost. That is the most important thing. You and your family are the most important. So, if you can't support us monetarily, we are okay with that. Do not do that if you do not overextend yourself. But you can support us free by just being here, watching. You're doing it right now. And of course, if you watch on our YouTube, if you subscribe and follow us all in all the places, like things, retweet things, share things, that's a great way to help support us. And it means a lot to us. You'd be surprised. You think oh, I don't have a lot of followers, so I don't know if my retweet is worth it. It is. It's so worth it. So please, please, please do it. No matter, you have one follower or a bajillion, it doesn't even matter. Every little bit helps us, the algorithms. I think that's it. So I will toss it over to our lovely storyteller, Mathis.
Hello. Well, today's going to be a weird one for me because I don't have headphones on. I can't even hear myself talk. It's throwing me off in terms of just doing content. But we're looking up a rule.
Do you listen to yourself the entire time?
Yeah, I always listen to it. So when
You're such a podcaster, Mathis. Always got your monitor on.
Yeah, I listen to myself, and so when I'm doing voices, if I always I can hear just.
You can hear yourself, yeah.
That would creep me out too much.
It did for a little while, but now I can't do it with it. It's
Does it play back into your stream though?
No, it doesn't play back. It's just it comes with the Go XLR has an ability to just hear
so you just pull through it. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I just hear
crazy.
as I talk.
Through the monitor.
But we were looking up a rule for aggravated damage. Did we find the?
We were okay. So I found a few things, Mathis. So
I know.
So the superficial damage is only going to heal 1 because my blood potency is only 1.
Yeah, and you won't get to superficial until your aggravated's done anyway.
Correct. Aggravated. That's willpower. Aggravated health damage for mortals, not relevant. I am not.
My gut says you can heal 1 a night, period, whereas superficial...
Vampires can normally mend 1 level of aggravated health damage each night by rousing the blood.
Okay,
See mending on page 21. So so it looks like that's probably the case because my blood potency
superficial,
is
you can just do it until you either run out of blood or you're full.
Yeah,
all right,
precisely.
so Before we begin, then let's have some rolls.
Whew.
Straight out from Dakota. So, is your hunger at Dakota?
It's just at a 1.
Okay.
I feel like that's because I fed on his dad in a car accident.
Right. That's true.
So yeah.
My next question then is: would you have Ava nearby or not? Well, to watch you, because you're gonna need to not. You're not gonna be able to do much. You're gonna be openly wounded. It's gonna be hard to walk around without being in pain and people seeing it. Most kindred will go into torpor, just stay closed down for a few days until they're healed, or because the risk is you could go to, you could end up rousing and putting yourself at 4 hunger, and then if you start feeding, you risk a hunger frenzy. I'm just curious. Do you have anybody?
I would imagine. Okay, so I would imagine Dakota would have gone back to the boat anyways.
Yep,
like she would have delivered the
where you're
ruin.
going, yeah.
The events would have happened. She would have found out that the other ruin was dead, and she
Cool.
would have gone straight to the boat, right?
All right. So let's
as
just roll
long
for
as
your reason.
okay, yeah. So as long as Ava's helping bring maybe dudes back to the boat, that'd be cool.
All right. So here's where the danger comes in. Okay. We're gonna say the next night. We'll assume you didn't try to heal that night. Where we faded out. It was the end of the night. A lot of shit happened. Everybody needed to disappear for the night. The next night, first, you need to make me a rouse check, Dakota, just to wake up.
Okay.
No, this is for your healing. Sorry. Your body reflexively heals first. Then you
Okay.
attempt to wake up.
I
Sorry.
got okay. So I got hungrier.
Okay, so you're at a 2, but you heal 1 aggravated. Now arouse me to wake up.
Okay.
You could as well, just to put this out there.
Oh no!
Okay,
Okay.
I haven't looked yet. You could as well put yourself into willing torpor. Like that's what a lot of kindred end up doing. But your humanity means you'd be in torpor for
A long time.
Are you at humanity 5 or 6?
Yeah. 5.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I
probably
thought you were
don't
4
wanna
with
go
me.
for it. It's probably like a year for you or something.
Yeah, no, we'll hard pass on that. So,
so
okay.
you're at hunger 3.
I'm at hunger 3 now, but I'm awake.
You're awake for that night.
that
do
night.
you want to heal all? I would prefer we get through all the healing before we move on. I imagine everybody takes a few nights to themselves after that would happen as well.
I would need, so I'm going to have to feed.
Okay.
Heal,
You're gonna
feed,
feed where?
heal.
Where would you like to go out and feed?
Well, we got a domain now, right?
You would have to travel from the boat to your domain.
Which I feel I could
You could do via sewers for the most part.
do via sewers. Yeah, the skateboard's probably not a good idea.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm going to have you hunt, but I'm going to give you an extra difficulty of +1 because you are very openly wounded, and people are probably going to try and avoid you if they see you.
So like every night, Mathis.
Yeah, so it's a little bit more. Well, it's like 1 extra difficulty.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Strength brawl.
Just tell me how many successes you have because I can't see.
Because roll 20 is
That's fine.
throw. It's throwing. Okay, I'll do it again. Nope. Yep, we'll do it again. Oh, nope, just in time. 3.
3? Okay. 3 is because normally 2, so an additional 1 difficulty makes it a 3.
Perfect.
You still are able to feed. You're at a hunger 3, so you do not risk hunger frenzy from feeding. I assume you're going to feed down to 2.
Down to 1.
Down to 2.
I'll
You
feed
do
down
go
to
down to 1. Yeah.
I'm gonna go down to 1 so that I can keep
Yep.
healing, browsing.
And then you're going to go back to the boat, pretty much.
Yep, then I'll go back to the boat and then I'll
Okay.
do it over. It's gonna
Next
be very
day,
boring.
Can I get a rouse check for your next healing?
Okay, success. No, yep. Yes.
Okay, you do not get hungry. Now rouse check to wake up for that evening.
Do.
Oop, I saw 2 pop, it looks like.
That
So
did
take
not.
the first one, so you do not gain another hunger.
Okay, great.
So that night you heal and you're able to wake up and you maintain 1 hunger.
Great, then I'll do it
last-
again because I'm not hungry
I was
at
gonna say,
all.
Last night, you gotta go to the next night to heal the last aggravated, right?
So we'll just take the last one that I rolled because we didn't actually count for that. So
Okay,
I
so you
get
go up in hunger, but
So I
that
go up
goes
in
to the next
hunger.
night, which will put you at, that's your last aggravated, right?
That was the last aggravated, and I get hungrier again.
Okay, so
This is-
you're at hunger 3, but on
For
this night, and we'll pick up on this night then, where you have superficial damage, meaning you have some broken wounds, maybe what would be considered internal bleeding to a mortal. But on the outward appearance, those open gashes that you had Molly rip through you to sell the fact that you were at.
Is there a way you could turn yourself up a little, Mathis?
I have never used a Mac before, so that's a good question. I don't know. Is this it? Nope, that's you.
Yeah, I can't manually
Let's see.
turn him up.
Let's do this.
I wish there was a way to do it on Zoom.
I wish there
people.
was like a way for me to change each
Yeah.
individual person's.
I think.
Be nice. Maybe someday.
No.
I can mute you, but that's the opposite.
Is that's as much as I can do. Is that okay?
That's
We'll
better.
roll with it.
I cranked it as high as it'll go.
Cool.
Let me just look at Zoom and see if there's anything I can do on Zoom as well. Sorry, everybody. This is I'm working off of a very minimal setup right now.
Mathis is making magic.
Trying. Oh, my camera went away. What happened?
Yeah, your camera went away.
What the heck?
Luckily, I have you last in the queue, so you're
That's
So
good.
it doesn't really matter.
I don't know why the camera went away. All right, I'm gonna go into audio settings real quick and see.
Okay.
Oh, these are audios. These were the Zoom audio settings.
Okay.
All right, that's all I can do. It looks like from Zoom.
That's fine. You did get a little
I'm sorry.
louder.
Yeah, I'll just try to project a little bit more. Okay, so you're gonna have your 3 aggravated damage having been healed, with the rest being superficial. How much superficial do you have?
4.
4 superficial. So you can heal that all in one night. It's just a rouse check per heal. There's no limit on how many times you can attempt to heal that. But you're at what, 3? You said you're at 3?
3 hunger. I should go find somebody.
So here's what we'll pick up. So going to Ava for a moment. Recap that last night. The 3 of you had come into the Dakota had gone to kidnap the fake Rowan. Ava went along as was part of the whole the whole not the kidnapping plan, part of the actual Rowan plan, dealing with your father.
Mm-hmm.
After he escaped, Ollie had got eyes on him and chased him down, followed him all the way to the all the way to the subway, where he knocked him out in front of everybody. There was mortals surrounding him. They called the subway cops. Ollie willingly let himself get put in handcuffs until eyes were off of him, went invisible and broke out. Followed to Rowan from the ambulance where he had been knocked out to the hospital, and after a few decent rolls was able to find Rowan crawling out of a window, chase him, and through a few unfortunate rolls and a final encounter, we said goodbye to Rowan that we met in season 1. He brought the body back to the movie theater. Ava and Dakota had regathered, and as he walked in with this boy's body in his arms and laid him on the ground, there weren't but 2, maybe 3 words said, a confirmation grunt and bloody tears streaming down the faces of those as they recognized what happened. But in that moment, Dakota was still wounded. She was oozing vitae all over, and Ollie was lost in his own thoughts and in the moment, or in what had become of the boy he tried to save. And that particular night, as the 3 of you separated and went to your separate havens, Dakota needed to rest. Ollie needed to find himself. And Ava, what did you do? What did Ava do? Because there was a particular father left in a room.
I need to deal with my dad.
So what would you have done with your father? What would have been the goal? Because let me put it this way. We actually have to rewind a little bit, because what did Ava do when Ollie left? So
I was at the theater.
Were you at the theater?
Because I took my father back to the theater.
What did you do when Ollie followed Rowan from where you were being interrogated?
Oh.
Because I think that's where we left you off.
Gotcha.
Until we all came back to the theater. So, as we rewind the clock, and Ava, you're baring your fangs with your head tilted, and we can see as the camera fades in, your tight black dress hugging every perfect curve over your toreador body, and your long black hair elegantly flowing over your shoulders, staring at who you know as Rowan. And he watches his face, and his demeanor cracks. Fear crawls across him. Whatever he sees in you, your true beast, whatever that may be, he sees it clearly, and he breaks. You hear him scamper out the door, his heavy footsteps down the stairs, the sounds of a window opening before the clatter of grass outside. And even as you peer out over your father's shoulder, through the window into the backyard, you can see the figure of Rowan climbing over a fence and hopping over. And that's where your gaze turns. You look to your father, who had caught a little gaze of that, a little bit of your dread gaze, but though it wasn't targeted at him. And he looks dumbfounded, completely as though he was in an open-eyed coma. As he stares at you, there's no expression or emotion. It looks like just this deadpan stare that follows you wide-eyed. You can see the whites of his eyes and his pupils super constricted as you walk back from that position, now Rowan having been dealt with, and now your father in front of you, having heard all these things that Rowan tried to drag out of you, watching you simply just fight back or argue back. There's a lot going on here, and your father seems lost. He stares at you blankly. the sounds of the apartment quiet down. All that's left is his heavy breathing in your high-heeled footsteps as you walk back in front of him.
Ava's demeanor definitely shifts, looking at his face, looking at his stare.
Can I get a wits awareness from you now that you are coming back to and becoming present in the moment?
Yeah. I rolled a 3.
3 successes?
Yeah.
You can smell, now that you're more to your rather in the moment, you can smell the alcohol off your father's clothes as he sits there. You can just reeks of just booze. As you turn to face him and you kind of change your posture, what is the posture? What kind of, you went from a rather aggressive posture. I mean, dread gaze is its own unique thing, but what do we see Ava do? What kind of posture do we fall into?
Ava immediately bends down on the floor on her knees next to her father. She gets down and reaches her hand out and goes to touch his face in his shocked demeanor.
As your hands reach forward and your long nails pass by his cheek until your fingertips simply graze the cheek, as soon as your skin comes into contact with him, he actually recoils. Not in a gross or disgusting way, but in a fear, frightened. Yeah, there's this straight fear coming from underneath, and as he jolts out of the way, he looks to your fingers and then looks to you, and you're not even sure if there's recognition happening right now. There certainly was when you were talking to Rowan, but now in this moment, you're not sure. Do you continue to reach out and touch him again?
Yeah, Ava will just touch him. And
can I get a roll from you, please? A charisma, not performance, and not
charisma.
Moving things out the way here. One monitor is very challenging.
Yeah, it's
all right.
Not fun.
We're gonna go with. You know what? Just go charisma persuasion. You're just trying to meet his gaze, like I said.
This is a lot of dice, so we'll see how we do.
Yeah, well, that's good.
3.
3 successes, and so as you touch his face and he even recoils again, you kind of follow, making sure that he doesn't lose contact with you, and soon he stops moving, and you can feel him press into your finger just a little bit, just gently.
The smallest hint of a smile comes up from Ava's face, and she just says to him, I'm sorry for everything.
What's Ava's hunger at this moment, out of curiosity?
It's hunger too.
She's feeling pretty damn good. A little bit of a thought in the back, a little itch, but nothing more. As you actually speak, his eyes will be drawn from you, as he's been watching you this whole time. As you kind of open your mouth and your voice falls out, his eyes break from yours, and he just kind of gazes off at the corner of the wall.
This is a lot. I know. I'm sorry you had to go through all of this.
Ava's hand pushes further up the cheek and brushes back his hair, now kind of long and a mess, unkempt and untaken care of. And as you do so, and you pull his ear back, and he actually brings his hand up to grab yours to stop you, maybe just reflexively, but it's at that moment as he grabs you, the missing finger just comes into your view. You see his ring finger completely missing from his hand as he reaches up. What do you want to do with your father from this point on? Are you looking to try and communicate with him and try and get through, or do you simply want to get him somewhere safe?
I want to get him somewhere safe, first and foremost.
To Ava.
Our theater, somewhere where I know that he will be safe. I don't want to just send him back to his house or anything like that. I want to keep an eye on him for a bit.
Absolutely. You'll end up being the first one at the theater, which actually makes sense that you would have been the first one at the theater. Well, no, Dakota would have been there first. She dropped off somebody and then left. Things happened. So you'd arrive at a time where Dakota had come and gone at this point. So do you like just kind of pick your father up? I mean, you can do so. Can I get a strength roll check from Ava? You could also, if you wanted to, obviously make yourself stronger. You could also try and by rousing the blood and giving yourself a +1. You could also just try and coerce him to talk. It's up to you what you want to do.
I would try to more coerce him and comfort him and like let him make him feel like he's safe with me.
This is going to be very hard because of what's happened to him. You're looking at you needing what would be considered extreme difficulty for your father's mental state right now, unless him being immortal, you want to use a discipline.
I'm not going to immediately resort to that.
That's fine. Can I please then get a charisma, manipulation persuasion as you're trying to coerce your father to move? I imagine what you say isn't as important as the intention behind it. It's
2 successes.
With 2 successes, he doesn't even appear to be listening. Do you want to use a willpower to re-roll? How many can you re-roll?
I can re-roll 1, 2, 3 of them.
Okay. Cool. You can if you'd like to.
So yeah, I will use a willpower to re-roll 3. Willpower re-roll. All right, I got a 10. So
Just
I got a 10 on the first roll, and then I got a 10 on the willpower re-roll. Does that?
Yep, that makes sense.
Okay.
Crit. So how many successes total?
That's 3, 4.
5? 4 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the crit, as you look to, we're looking at an extreme difficulty here of 5 successes. There's a couple times where his eyes kind of dart over recognition that you're getting through. Because you crit, I am willing to offer you a messy success here.
I'll take the messy success.
Okay. There's obvious recognition that he hears you. He's looking back to you occasionally, but there's no words. He says makes no noises. He keeps kind of dozing and then looking off. But as you stand up, maybe getting frustrated.
Oops. Sorry, it was 5.
Oh, it was 5? Oh,
shit! My bad.
If it's 5,
sorry, guys. Numbers are hard.
now, he doesn't look and break away. You capture his attention. He says no words, but he's very clearly listening to you. There may be something about your voice or what it is that you're saying, but he's looking at you and you have his attention. And you want to get him to stand up. And as Ava stands up, maybe like, come on, Dad, just get to your feet for a minute. He, without hesitation, rises with you. You stand, and then he stands. He wobbles a little bit. Can I get a Dex Athletics check as he stands and kind of wobbles a bit on you?
Yes. Dex Athletics. 1 success.
He stumbles and you realize it a little too late as he goes to catch himself on you, but you're not able to get him, and he actually collides onto the ground on his side. Now you actually have like another really good look at him. The clothes he's wearing, maybe it wasn't as obvious when he was sitting down, he was hunched over, but as he's on the ground and the clothes kind of fall around his figure, you could see how big these clothes are on him, how malnourished and how skinny he is. You know that Rowan had him weeks ago when he first called you. You have no idea what he's done to him and how he's kept him since then. It's very clear now, though, that he has been fed bare minimum.
At that moment, I'll look down to him and say, "How about we get you something to eat?"
You could? Yeah. How would you like to get him something to eat?
Can I like stop somewhere on the way back, or like, and just like grab him some food, and
Yeah,
hopefully that coerces him to.
Sure. So, would you like to leave him here, or would you like to try and get him out? It's clear to you, Ava, while you're not
doing well,
that he's gonna be weak and he'd need support to walk, and so you would need to support him.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe I'll get him some food and bring it back.
Would you pay for it, or would you walk in, use a discipline on a mortal, and walk out?
I'll pay for it. I have the resources.
You go to a corner store. You leave him here. You don't expect you're gonna be gone long, and you grab him a sandwich or something, and you bring it back up, and maybe a bottle of water. And as you make your way back up, he's leaning up against the wall at this point, and you place the food probably nearby. Does Ava say anything? I apologize. I didn't mean to just dictate what you were doing.
No. She would just kind of leave the food for him and let him, maybe she would just like leave the room for a minute and let him,
You place the food down and you walk out and just kind of wait a little bit. Something comes up in your mind. Not because Mathis is trying to be a cruel storyteller, but simply because Ava and her family. There was a time where your mother was dying, where she was having issues, and you remembered what Zach did. This would come to Ava. I'm not saying that this is what Ava would do, but as she gets out, she is able to clear her mind for a moment. Her father's sitting there, and it brings up all these memories of her family and what life was like mortal, and what life was like before, and thoughts of your mother resurface, and what happened to her, and who she belonged to, and When you even think about that movie theater night, that spark of that fury even still sits in there. But you do know that despite everything, Grant hasn't died yet, and he seems to be thriving. It's just something that would fix, in Ava's mind, or should I say not in Ava's mind, Ava would know it would fix the physical issues at the very least, but you know the cost that comes along with it as well. And he's your touchstone. So there comes ghouling your touchstone is considered damaging your touchstone as well. You would lose. You would take 2 stains, I believe, for that.
Oof, yeah, that's that thought does cross Ava's mind, but the other thing that crosses her mind is what Zach, another thing Zach did frequently, which is erasing people's memory, and that is the thing that she's thinking about the most. How can she get this day out of her father's mind, and just. So she thinks about the ghouling and then, kind of shakes her head and then begins to think more about how she can get this memory from her father's mind and make him forget.
Now, having maybe pacing and if the camera sits on the other side of the door where we see the father slowly reaching for the sandwich at this point and meekly unwrapping the plastic wrap that's around this turkey club, we can hear the muffled pacing steps of the high heels on the wood floor on the apartment outside. Ava clearly thinking, mulling over, how do we do this? Well, you know that at the very least, those who have the ability to sway the mind can do this. And you think about clans. Well, Ventru for one, can do it. Zach was a caitiff. Zach was a caitiff. However, his sire was a Malkavian. Perhaps a Malkavian would have the ability to do this as well. Beyond that, I'm trying to think if Ava would know of any others who might be able to do it. But I think those are the 2 that she would go to kind of immediately, because your clan has no ability to rewrite the mind. So that leaves you with a couple of options off the top of your head. If you get a hold of Mr. Jackson, that'd be a tall ask. Well, it would be a tall ask not because it's difficult. It's not a difficult thing to break a mortal's mind. However, you are informing somebody who's just taken a position of power within the Camarilla and who you wish to see maybe further climb that ladder of your touchstone, and the things you would give him information and maybe something to play against you in the future if that's something you could concern yourself about. The Witch of the Yards is yet another opportunity. You could try and talk to the Witch of the Yards.
That was the one I was thinking about.
Yeah.
There's going to be a cost associated with that. There's always a cost, and you don't know what that cost is going to be, or even if the cost makes much sense. There's Boss. You don't know what abilities Boss has. Quite simply, you have no friggin' idea what the Ministry can do, and that might be something worth even just talking about. Beyond that, Ballard and Mr. Sovereign are both Ventru. You've never met Ballard, but Ollie apparently works for him. And you've met Mr. Sovereign. You're wheeling and dealing with Mr. Sovereign as we speak. There are options as to who can do what and what they're able to do. You don't know.
And what about the guy living in the freezer?
Artie. Artie is also Ventru.
I was gonna say Artie just chilling in the freezer.
Artie has been poaching. Artie has been poaching adventure territory, staying close to the club.
I say it's time for him to pay up rent.
It depends on who you want to go to. So, Ava, as you sit there pacing the hallway back and forth, and you kind of start listing in your mind, all right, we got Witch of the Yards. All right, we've got Artie in the freezer. We've got Mr. Jackson. Who knows? And of course, you could go to the Painted Lady and see if you could maybe find somebody who'd be willing to do it on the DL. Like, you don't have to go buy the books either. You could try and just find somebody who'd be willing to work a dirty deal. Zach was young. Zach was very young, and he was able to do that. You don't need somebody of immense power to rewrite a memory of a mortal. So we'll leave it at that. Where would you bring your father tonight? Because this night, you're not going to have the time to get this done. You got to reach out to people. You need to talk to people. Hell, you got to get a hold of your coterie and see what the hell's going on with Rowan. So where would you bring your father tonight? Would you said the movie theater?
The theater, I think. That's a safe place for him.
You would call a cab, I presume. You wouldn't want to walk that entire way. It's a long drive. And so you call. It's been a while. You don't typically do it, but you wave down a cab somewhere down the street, and the first cab you wave down pulls over for you without question. And you walk over to the back door and open it, and as you sidle in, I'm sure you give them an address a few blocks away from the theater. about a 15-20 minute ride. Your father is wordless the whole time, but he continues meekly eating his sandwich and sipping on his water, bringing a bit of relief to our dear Ava as the journey continues. And as the car pulls up to the theater, or pulls up to the block, and you guys walk out, you walk a few blocks of the theater, you open the doors, and as you look around, you don't see anyone. Wits awareness.
Oh dear. Okay.
And where's the jail cell?
What was the
Downstairs.
basement, right?
The cell is actually the old fireproof concrete room where they would have
Downstairs.
kept, where they
Right.
would have kept the film reels. Yeah.
2.
2 successes.
Mhm.
As you walk in, you take a moment, and your dad actually kind of just shuffles forward a little bit and just kind of starts looking around. You actually hear for a moment, like, did you hear somebody shout downstairs? It was muffled, and you're not entirely certain, but it sounded like a voice.
I am going to sit my father down, maybe in the theater, and
Put
just tell him to
down in a movie
rest.
theater. And
Yeah,
start
just-
playing Star Wars.
Yeah, here, Dad. And I'll just like leave him there, and I'm gonna go quietly check that out.
So you can as you open the steel door that leads downstairs, and you shut it behind you, a little bit of light downstairs, and you start walking down the stairs. As soon as you take that first heel click on the concrete stair leading down, you hear, "Hello? Hello? Hey! Somebody help me! Help! Let me out! Let me out! Please, God, let me out!"
Do I recognize the voice?
Yeah, you recognize the voice as a familiar one. That voice was just threatening your father, maybe an hour ago.
I'm going to just shut the door.
Hang on.
Oh, okay.
Can I get a fury frenzy check, please?
Oh, God damn it.
This man almost murdered your father.
That's fair. That's fair. Let's see.
And you don't see him yet.
Oh, jeez.
All you know is he ran out the building, and you don't know what happened to him after that. So
Oh.
tell me how many successes you have. I'm looking for 2. I'm looking for you to get 2 successes.
Sorry, one sec. I just have to the willpower,
This
humanity.
might fix the issue.
Yeah, this will be great. You just
3?
you nom him, and then we don't have to worry about it.
You rolled 3 successes.
Yeah.
Okay, you're fine. So
Okay.
you feel for a moment as you just like, mother. It is just like you can feel the beast being like just at your throat, begging to be let free. It will right all the wrongs. It will pay back all the debt he accrued an hour ago when he threatened your father and threatened you and told you all these things. But you know better, and you know sometimes death is the easy way out. And so Ava composes herself, and you continue to go down the stairs.
No, I'm gonna leave him down there.
So you stop, you don't even
Yep.
look, you don't even see him.
No, I'm not
you
even
turn
going.
to open the door, and as you open the door, you're like, hey, oh, come on, my mom, my dad, please!
I just
And
leave him
as
down
you
there
say,
and I
"Please,"
shut.
Boom. It just slams shut. You hear the Star Wars as it begins in the background. And that's where this night for Ava will likely end. I imagine you're going to be alone so everybody would get together that night. Your
Eventually,
dad would be in the
yeah.
movie theater, and that's kind of where things go, and everybody would kind of go their separate ways. Where would you agree, I guess, Ollie would probably leave early. Between Dakota and Ava, would there be an agreement as to where to keep the father in the time being? Would you want him here?
Ava would suggest keeping him here.
Well, I only got 1 jail cell.
Well, we don't have to lock him up. We could just
Is
keep
he-
him
Is he going to
upstairs.
stay willingly?
I can keep an eye on him. I guess not during the day. Maybe Grant can keep an eye on him.
You could ask Grant.
Keep him at the bar. There's rooms for him to stay.
And you lock from the outside.
Grant makes a great burger. Oh, I guess Ollie makes a better one, but
I guess
Grant
that's
makes a good
true.
one, and he needs food.
And he he needs to sober up. So, I guess you're probably right.
Grant's a good
Ollie's
person to
bar
leave
is a
him with.
place where people do that occasionally.
So
I'm-
lights out pub there.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring him there and just
You
ask
get him there without
Grant to do me a solid.
cause. Yeah, Dakota.
there's no visible change in Rowan's when the other Rowan dies. From what we can
Would
tell.
you like to go look?
Yeah, I would. Because if the new information comes through that the other Rowan's dead, I want to know what about this
Well,
one.
you would get the information when he walked in.
Yeah.
That everybody knows the other Rowan's dead when we had that last scene 2 weeks ago when he brought the body in.
So we don't know yet, is what you're saying.
I imagine everybody dispersed after
Got
that
it.
moment. It was like, let's just reconvene
Everybody, yeah.
later. And then
After
Ollie just
that.
never comes back after that.
Right.
For a couple days.
So I would like to see what this other
So-
Rowan looks like.
We'll say after you heal.
Yeah, totally. Maybe it's a few days,
Yeah.
whatever.
Because
Yeah.
you weren't sure. When you came back, you didn't know if he was alive or not. You didn't hear anything downstairs. When you come back, Ava, it's been 3 days. You've been watching your father for the most part. He's been keeping to himself. And I imagine you don't interact with him all that much. Well, you leave him. Yeah, you leave him at the bar.
Mhm.
Dakota arrives 3 days later. You've been kind of keeping tabs of the place as Dakota heals, and Ollie has not come back. But Dakota, this night you can actually hear the skateboard wheels rolling up on the sidewalk before you hear the definitive clack as she kicks it up, and the front door swings open. She's looking much better. Though her clothing is still ripped, the outward wounds have completely dissipated.
Well, that's good.
I wear bruises
He's
like
been a lot.
makeup.
The other Rowan, by the way, Ava, has been downstairs screaming for help every single fucking day.
Sucks for him. Ava's just like.
Okay. You think he would have gone hoarse by now?
I know.
Dakota,
right?
as you enter, you can actually hear before you even have a chance the muffled shouting downstairs.
This is like this all the time.
Yeah. He's been screaming.
Cool. Have you checked on him?
No,
Have we given him food?
No.
Yeesh. I grab a bottle of wine, a bottle of water, and
Bottle of wine?
yeah, a bottle of wine, a bottle of water, and what else is behind our bar? Like there might be some
I don't know,
crackers or like
Peanuts
stock.
or something.
yeah, whatever's at
peanuts.
You have probably like leftover fruit from the live
Olives
show.
and like
Olives. Yeah. You got some bar peanuts.
like
I-
limes and oranges for like
I like-
drinks.
Garnish. Oh yeah, you just got drink garnishes for food.
Yeah.
That's great.
I load
Cherries.
up all that I can, like some dry peanuts and maybe some crackers or something that might be at this bar, because they got to keep some carbs on hand for the drunkards when they don't leave at closing time. And then,
You make your way downstairs.
yeah, I'm gonna carry all this down with me.
As the door opens, you immediately hear, "Hello? Oh my God, it's been days. Hello, let me out!"
I round the corner carrying all this stuff.
As you look, you see a man unchanged.
Okay, you have to stop screaming.
Oh my God, you're okay. We were going to the hospital. We were on our way to the hospital. What happened? How did we get here? How did you find me? Quick, get me out.
wait,
We can call the doctor, call 911, call the cops. I don't know who got me here.
Hey, I'm here to rescue you.
Okay, good. How'd you my dad, my mom don't know what happened. I'm sure the cops are looking for us. Quick, did you find the keys? They're probably upstairs. If they're not home, go up there. See if they're up there and just sneak around a little bit. If there's no keys, get a crowbar or a hammer. They don't bother me. They've left me down here for days and completely fucking ignored me. So you're probably gonna be fine. I hear them, a lot of Star Wars music upstairs. So I think we're in like a theater or something. So just get up there and just find me and we'll get out of here. My dad has a pretty good job. He'll probably give you a reward or something. Maybe the school will give you a diploma. We'll get you off. Just please hurry up. And he just keeps going.
I'm gonna let him go until he has no breath left.
And then maybe by the time you graduate, I don't know. I just want to live, I was thinking maybe I was going to be an engineer or something and work somewhere in the city. And I wanted to pay my parents. Fucking wondering now I'm going to lose all that. I'm not going to be able to do that ever again. And he starts working himself up into an absolute panic attack until he loses himself in the panic attack.
Are you hungry?
I think I'm going to...
Let it out.
And he just starts hurling in the corner. It's just dry heaves. I haven't eaten anything in like days. I just want to get out of here. I think I need to go to the hospital.
You could probably use some water. I slide some water through the bars.
You slide it through the bars? He's like,
Yeah.
I thought you were getting me out of here.
I am. Do I look like I have a key?
He runs over, just grabs a bottle of water. He's like, hurry up! And he just like pops it open and just starts chugging.
Okay. I don't know how I got here or what's going on.
You don't know? Do you know where we are?
Nope. I do
Fuck!
not.
Can I get a manipulation subterfuge roll for me, please?
Oh, hey, I got a 2.
That's plenty for a panicked Rowan. Oh god! Oh god, we're gonna die! Have you heard
We're
about
not.
the toy box killer? Oh my god,
Who?
what if he does that with me?
What is who's the toy box?
Oh my god, what if whoever kidnapped me every night is gonna take me down to their sex dungeon and fuck around with me until I die? I'm not ready for that.
Is that your biggest fear?
Dying is my biggest fear. But the pain beforehand is like a secondary fear.
How do you
Can
know
you just
what
get the keys? What are you doing? Go! Go! I'll take you off the streets. I don't know what you need me to do to get you to motivate you, but fucking homeless girl, go!
Okay, first off, we're gonna not call me homeless girl. You can call me Charlene, okay? Charlene. And until this is all done, you're gonna calm the fuck down because you're making me nervous.
I'm so scared. I've been down here for 3 days. How did they come to you? Did they feed you? Oh god.
No,
Oh god, I'm gonna throw up. I'm
any
gonna
of
throw
those
up.
things. Just calm down. I'm just gonna grab him by the shirt and smack his head into one part so that he will pass out. This
You do
man needs
so.
a nap.
So you reach in and you bop him as hard as you can, and just not to murder the boy, of course.
Yeah, just to like donk his
And you
head, you
clock
know?
him in the jaw real hard,
That
and you
works,
just
too.
feel his whole body go and just go unconscious. Do you lower? Do you like catch him, or do you let him?
Yeah,
fall?
I like catch him and I lower him to the ground. I'm like, oh
You catch him by his collar, and just kind of.
God, I don't know which Rowan is worse.
It's
Okay.
almost like they're both stubborn. Just
They're
raised
the
differently.
worst. They're the worst. Okay, I look at his passed up body. I'm like, okay, he thinks a girl named Charlene helped him get out of here. Perfect. I like open the door. I pick his body up. I just pick his body up.
You're gonna grab him by the collar. You hoist him over your shoulder.
Yeah, hoist him over my shoulder. And I go upstairs.
Okay. Ava, as your mom, probably checking in on your father, and he's relatively quiet a lot of these days. You're not even sure if he really understands what's going on still to this point. But you hear this Dakota's heavy boots walking up the stairs. As you make your way out to the lobby, you see her walking up the stairs with a Rowan who's in a really dirty like polo and khakis over her shoulder.
What are you doing with him?
I am going to make him think that he was kidnapped and I helped him get out.
Okay. I guess that's a good story.
We need to get him the fuck out of here. 1, because he is an annoying piece of shit. And 2, because honestly, at this point, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense as to why I kind of kidnapped him and killed his father.
Should we? I don't know. Should we do something for him, for Ollie, or should we just send him back to his family?
Dakota and Ava. No, again, I'm bringing this up because it's pertinent to this particular topic. Ollie has no idea this guy's still alive. If you kill him, you know what he's going to do. He's going to turn into sticks and stones and not exist anymore. How much do you give a shit about this particular person? It's an option. I just want to put it out there. It wouldn't
Stop
occur-
thinking what I'm thinking, Mathis, because they're bad things.
I know. And
Okay,
humanity for Ava is like
Oh, don't worry.
doesn't give a shit. But
This would not incur a stain because it is a fetch.
Oh.
And you are aware. So if it was a fetch and you weren't aware it was a fetch, it would incur a stain because in your mind he's a person, he's immortal. You saw Rowan die. You know there's a sliver of Rowan that was taken and is kind of like put into this thing. With humanity 5 and 4, I'm not entirely sure you would incur a stain for slicing on a fetch. And may I reinforce the fact, you were humanity 5 and 4. Not 6 or 7.
Okay, all right, Mathis, we get the idea. Team Chaos here.
Chaos. It's just,
Okay.
you gotta
Okay.
think. You gotta think. He's
Okay.
immortal.
Look.
Hmm.
I don't know at this point what to do because Ollie would say leave the boy
Alone.
and take him back to his mom. That is what Ollie would say.
But that could cause a lot of problems if he starts talking about the incident and the police get involved and it comes back to us.
And he's
somehow.
less than a human. He's sticks and stones pretending to be a human.
Okay.
I know.
At this
it's hard.
point-
It's because you guys in real life are like humanity 7-8, you know what
I know. It's like we
mean?
can't. No, really, I'm thinking about Ollie and all of this.
It's
course.
Ollie.
Oh, I know.
It's
Yeah.
Ollie,
This is
not
yeah, it makes
It's not
sense.
the kid,
You're-
it's
exactly. You're
our
considering
friend.
Ollie more than you're considering
than the kid, right?
Than the
Because
kid,
I
yeah.
I got him like a sack of taters. He's not. I don't give a shit about this kid.
I
Yeah.
can't see chat today, so I'm hoping they're loving this.
Okay.
But
So I'm okay. All right. Okay. You know what? This is what happens when Ollie disappears. We usually just handle shit. We do it and then we party. So you know what?
it's true.
I'm gonna take this kid back downstairs.
I love Dakota came upstairs and was just like, you know
Wait a
what, I'm going
second.
back downstairs.
This is
No,
far too
what?
much effort. Yeah. Fuck this. I'm still beat up over this.
Yeah.
This is all. I don't want to have shit to do with this kid. Did you know that? Did you know that I was like, oh hey Ollie, I don't want to have anything to do with your kid anymore because
And he
he's
sent
fucking
you.
trouble. Yeah. Well, yes, he did.
Of course.
Okay. I'm
Ollie.
gonna take him back downstairs. He's barely alive as it is. We could just let him starve to death.
You're not sure if you can starve to death.
Oh, that's true. He's a fetch. Fuck. Okay,
Why
fine.
don't
Okay.
we just leave him and let Ollie deal with
Let's
it?
rock
It's his
paper
problem
scissors
now.
for who does it.
What?
Oh my god! No, can I just meta time out for a moment? Because Abe at the very exact same time was like, let's wait for Ollie. Rocks, paper, scissors to who kills the bitch. Like, this is two different.
It just went from like 0 to 100.
I was say, Dakota and Abe are standing at each other, staring at each other, and Dakota's talking. And then as you kind of finish, at the exact same moment, Abe's like, let's wait for Ollie. And Dakota says, rocks, paper, scissors to who does it, which is humanity 4 and humanity 5. Kind of right there.
Okay.
No, keep talking. Keep talking.
Okay, fine. It's
great.
Fine. We don't have to rock paper scissors. He still thinks I'm a captive here as well. I'm gonna suggest we
How we
tag the
believe that.
motherfucker because he is a loud piece of shit. And we can
I
just
guess-
put him back down there, and then when Ollie's filling up to snuff, he can make a decision about his offspring.
I think that's a good idea. He doesn't need much. He just keep him down there. Whatever. We'll
And
just
then I'm gonna go clear up a police report that says all 3 of us, his dad included, died in a little tiny car accident.
It's probably a good idea.
Okay? Which means that when that happens, he can't go back.
Yeah. Okay, so he died. Is that what you're putting in the report?
Is that a hypothetical? Like he should die now?
Oh, you really want to kill him right now, Dakota? Which I don't blame you. That would probably solve all of our problems.
Do you know why? Why I just want to. You don't want to get rid of this problem?
Oh, of course I want to get rid of this problem.
I've just dropped him on the floor at this point.
Yeah, you're like, you don't want to get rid of this problem, and then as you say problem, you just kind of heave him off your shoulder,
Yeah,
and he just goes,
I'm like-
and just hits the
But it's
ground with
not-
a heavy thud.
I want to get rid of this problem, but honestly, it's not our problem to deal with. It's his.
Oh, I hate it when you're fucking. Like
What's
grabbing
awareness,
my.
both of you? What's awareness to both of you?
Oh, jeez.
Fuck.
4.
Oh, damn.
Damn.
2 and 2.
No, I got 2.
Okay, only Ava. Ava, as you're kind of talking about it, and the body hits the ground, you're looking at the body, and you bring your gaze back up. You actually catch over by the door of the movie theater. You can see the door cracked a little bit, and it looks like you can see your dad eavesdropping.
Oh, shit.
Okay, you deal with that man problem. I'll deal with this man problem, and then I'd like to go elsewhere. There's a beer that needs a label peeled.
Yeah.
You bring
yeah.
him back downstairs. We'll start with Dakota. Dakota, do you hoist the boy up on your shoulder? You just grab him by
No,
the
at this
ankle and
point, I
drag him?
grab him by the scruff of the neck and like glunk, 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 all the way down.
Yeah, that's what I figured. And so,
Roll his ass back in.
all the way down into the jail cell where you slam it back shut.
If I don't
Ava.
feed him, Ollie's gonna be so pissed. I leave food and a bottle of water, but I want to make it look like there was a struggle in some way. Like, oh, I leave a piece of my pants tore behind. Because he's a paranoid piece of shit. He'll make up his own story about what that is over the next few days. Oh, and I gag him.
Sure, you gag him. Do you bind his hand so he can't ungag himself?
I would have to.
That means someone's gonna have to come feed him.
Oh, damn it.
I know.
Oh, right, he can scream.
All right, cool. Meanwhile,
worse.
Ava, you kind of, as Dakota breaks away and the camera stays up front, it follows you over your shoulder as you glide your way over to your father. As you walk over, he actually pushes the door open a little bit further. Now you can obviously see him and he's not hiding anymore. As you get close, he just mumbles very quietly, sorry.
Oh, it's okay, Dad. How are you feeling?
Just couldn't help but hear you guys talking out there. The little girl's got a problem.
Yeah, it's a bit of a problem, but we're handling it. It's fine.
What happened to you, baby girl? Where'd you go?
Well, the weird thing is I've always been here. I didn't go anywhere. But you just couldn't see me like this.
Who'd you get involved with?
Well, it was my brother, really.
Zach,
He-
you involved in this?
Yeah, he did. At first I thought it was a work thing. This girl that I really, really liked at work, I got close with her. She's the one that kind of brought me into this, but then I learned it was actually Zach who was the one that was doing the dealings behind the veil and brought me into this.
He breaks gaze and looks down to the floor for a few moments before he looks back up. I know I ain't always been there. Let's just be real, I know I've been a shit father, but I never wanted my kids involved in criminal stuff. Not
Hey.
like me.
Hey, this isn't your fault.
You can't say that with any certainty. Last time I saw your brother, and when I got into a fight. I haven't seen him since.
Same, actually.
I don't want to do that to you, too. Losing... He was the only one who talked to me. And seeing him stop after our argument, I thought I fucked up and lost both of you. I had no idea you were still around. Just don't... Let me help you get out of this, at least. Please. Undo some of the shit that I did. Maybe we could find your brother after this. I don't say this, I know I never said this, but maybe we
Dad.
could get the cops involved. What?
It's... Sometimes, you know, when Mom died, it's like some things you just can't bring back, you know? And it's just... It's best if you just think that way about me.
You tell me to forget my own daughter? Not happening. I don't know.
Did you forget Mom? It's not forgetting, it's just...
I didn't forget your mother.
You just have to think that I'm dead.
You're speaking craziness, Ava.
I know it doesn't make sense, which is why I've been gone for so long.
Whatever you're in, we can get you out. And if you don't want to get out, I can try and help maybe get you do better at something. I just want to... I know I
Dad.
have a lot to make up.
I can't have this conversation.
What? Why? What do you mean? Listen, I know I've been gone for years, and... Listen, I thought you were dead. I would have looked for you, okay? I had no idea. Your brother told me you were gone. I can help. All right, I can help. I gotta clean up my act, and it's gonna take some time. It won't be the first time I tried, but I can do it. Look at you.
Ava just kind of like, she closes her eyes and sighs. Again, she doesn't have to sigh, but
when you sigh, he's like, listen, I know I wasn't supposed to listen in, but I don't want, I've done some shitty things, okay? Doing one more shitty thing so you don't have to do it. Get rid of your problem, whatever it is. Just let me do that for you.
you don't have to do that.
I know I don't have to do anything. But I can't have you getting in trouble. I can't lose my girl to this. So you're worried about some big guy, some Ollie guy, right? Because Ollie's something.
No, he's my friend. He's my friend. He has some problems he's been involved with. The reason you were kidnapped, it has to do with that. And we're dealing with it.
Well,
Let's just enjoy our time together now that we're reunited. Let's just enjoy it.
yeah, but you're speaking like it's the only thing we're gonna do. I know you're gone during the day, okay? I understand it's probably when you're working. But I can't have my girl tangled up in shit that could get her killed. I've been there, okay? And he holds up his hand with the missing finger. I know this looks like shit, but this ain't half of what could have happened to me in my younger days, okay? Let me help you. Your mother straightened me out, but she isn't here anymore, and God bless her soul, no matter how hard she tried, she clearly wasn't enough to keep you kids out. So let me do what I know best and help you, okay?
Okay.
Okay, what do I need to do? Where is he?
There's a kid downstairs.
What'd he do to you?
He didn't do anything. He's it's really complicated. It's
Okay, if he isn't taking care of her, you in trouble.
probably.
That's all I need to know. He actually kind of just stands up and pushes the door open and like looks to head out and head downstairs.
Dad, you don't have to do this.
I want to do this. You help me. Let me start making it right.
Ava has to think about this. Does she want her father to do this?
Dakota's upstairs at this point. You see them talking over by the door that leads into where Star Wars.
I was supposed to say, I would not interrupt that.
Yeah.
You couldn't pay
where would
me
you
to
go? Would
get
you
in
hang
on
out?
that conversation. No, I hang up in the corner, like where I usually do, just watching and waiting.
Yep.
Shit.
I may not be in my prime anymore, but I know what to do. He actually puts his hand, the missing finger, on your cheek now, and actually like brings your gaze to him. Did your mother ever tell you how we met?
No, I just thought it was like a church thing or something.
No. You really think I met your mother at a church while I was doing what I was doing as a kid? No.
That's what
Your
you
mother
want us
was
to
no-
believe.
He actually just puts, for the first time, a toothy smile. She didn't start going to the church until she was found out she was pregnant. She wasn't much of a church goer before. I met her doing my runs. She wasn't so innocent either. You could say it runs in the family, all right? You're not taking my innocence away. And you're not doing your mother's memory injustice. This is where she got her start, too.
The thing is, this kid is my friend's son. But he's also a problem.
You know we call those? Unnecessary details. Is he a problem for you?
Yeah.
If my girl's in trouble, I help my girl. Do you need to think about it?
I can't.
Take a day, think about it at work, whatever you gotta do.
Let's just go. Why don't we just go hang out or something? Grab food or something like that. Let's not think about this for just
Clearly,
a
like,
night.
seeing you trying to continue to push it off and like not think about it, he stops pushing at that point. Sure. Yeah, it'd be good to sit down and talk.
Catch up.
Yeah. And then as he kind of like loosens up a bit and stands up straight, he actually sees Dakota in the corner and he actually gives you like a half-assed wave. So where are we going? Then he kind of puts his arm on your back and has you leading the way toward the front door. Do you want to kind of take him out for the night?
Yeah, Dakota, I'm gonna hang out with my dad for a bit.
Have fun.
Thanks. Let's talk later. I have some things I think we
Yeah.
need to talk about.
About the basement. Maybe not go in it.
Yeah. I
Cool.
yeah, we're just gonna leave that. But we have other things I have other things I need to talk to you about.
Sure. So we'll say you go out for a couple hours. You get him food, bring him back to the movie theater or back to Ollie's bar or wherever it is that you want to put him. I imagine he kind of goes back and forth depending. Him being at the movie theater this time, would you like to bring him back to the movie theater or would you like to bring him to Ollie's?
I'll bring him to Ollie's bar.
Bring him to Ollie's bar where he's spent a few nights here already. He's actually rather he's not used to it, but he's not like, where are we going? And he as you leave him there, there's no qualms whatsoever. He thanks you for spending some time with him, and the conversation between the two of you is he does it's obvious to you that he's willingly avoiding talking about whatever it is that you do for work. More optimistic, talking about when you were kids and what pleasant memories, however very few of them of him that you have. And there are many times throughout the conversation where something comes up and he apologizes for not being there or whatever. Whatever Rowan did to him over these past few weeks or even months seems to have completely shaken him to his core. But the hours go by, and then you make your way back to the movie theater where Dakota has been waiting for Ava to return. Only a couple hours, and Ava walks back in, Rowan-less this time around.
Hi. How was your night?
I sat here and waited for him to start screaming again.
Is he doing okay? Or is he screaming?
No, he's out. Still.
Still out cold.
Okay, good.
I'm hoping
Good.
maybe he comes back with a little bit of brain damage and just...
If he can even with his not real brain,
Yeah,
but
what
that's
is that about?
I don't know. Listen, I need to figure out what to do with my dad.
Can I get a wits awareness rebuild?
Jeez.
Oh, that's
Somebody what's awareness?
I never pass these rolls.
I rolled a 1 this time, 1 success.
Oh, awesome.
It's pretty bad.
I rolled a 4.
Oh,
critical.
wow.
Yeah, I rolled a 4.
Oh, nice.
You hear him shouting for help. At least that's what you initially think it is. Until you realize whatever word is coming out of his mouth is not English. And there's a weird echo to it.
Oh
A
dear.
bassiness that he lacked every time. And as the shout ends, and the two of you face each other for a minute, Ava not realizing, didn't hear anything, the front doors whip open. A gust of wind blows in a ton of leaves as they swirl. And as the doors slam shut and the leaves,
Fuck!
No.
a woman with red hair, all tangled, twigs and leaves sticking out of it, most of them dead or dying, and her own clothing of deep, deep red with accented black on the outside and a bright, cheery disposition, stands about looks kind of around before she looks to the two of you.
You found us.
Oh, I am surprised. Where is he?
I love hearing that.
What?
Where is he? Somebody called for help. One of my own, perhaps. Where is he? Don't play dumb. Where is he?
Downstairs.
Thank you.
Damn it,
And she just
Ava.
looks and you watch at the door.
Don't
and
wait,
as she
you want to
walks
mess with her? She
I'm
almost,
gonna follow this bitch.
You're welcome
She just
to.
waltzed in our front door.
As
she
you- as,
almost killed Crowley that one time when he took a bucket.
I didn't say I was gonna take anything from her. I've already done that.
Yeah, but as she's like, thank you, and she walks by you, the door to downstairs just kind of gets blown off its hinges and slams into a wall.
I have
And
to
she goes,
fix
"Ooh."
that.
And no, she seriously goes, ooh, sorry, that was accident.
Maybe just take it easy. Do you have a name?
She just ignores you and walks down the stairs. And she goes,
The
like,
boy.
shuffles very quickly.
I shuffle behind her. The boy.
And as you say the boy, and she steps down the stairs and she turns to face and she goes, and she like puts her hands on her hips and then goes, huh? And she looks to you. Is this a joke?
Huh?
He's not mine. I didn't make him.
Oh, jeez.
Then why
Why
are
are you calling for help? And why am I hearing this? And then the Rowan just looks wide-eyed and he like scampers to the back of the cell and he just is like, who are you? Are you the one that brought me here? Oh my
Yes,
god,
she
you
is.
were working with her! And she
No,
points to you,
no, I
Dakota.
go, no, she's kept me hostage.
And she, I can't believe you were here the whole time! Oh my god! And he starts freaking out. Meanwhile, she waves her hand, a gust of wind blows in, and he goes, and the wind kind of pulls him from his throat. And she just kind of holds her hand out, and there you can actually see whipping wind in her hand. He's like, silence, boy, jeez. And you can see him trying to scream, but it's
Wish we could do that.
dead
Ow.
silent.
That
And she
is
kind of just
very
messes with
handy.
it. So, he's not mine, and yet he can
Yes.
call for help.
Not yours, no.
And yet he's calling for me. Shouldn't be possible. How did you get him, and where did he come from?
As much as I'd like to say I could answer those questions, I can't entirely. Madison is where?
Madison. Oh,
When is about 10 years ago? How is a big bold question mark?
well, he doesn't belong to you. And she looks over to the cell, walks up to it, and simply touches it. And as she touches it, you watch the metal rust
No,
away.
wait, no, I
As it
just
starts
installed
flaking
that.
apart and rumbling into a rusted dust. And she kind of just bats it away. And she just walks up to him as he scampers into the corner. And he's like, now, if you're good, you can have this back. Understood? And he just looks confused. Ah, silly boy, I'll teach you yet. Come with me. And she just kind of grabs him by the collar and lifts him up to his feet. Now stay on your feet. We've got a long journey.
Wait. You can't just take him.
She looks to the ground where there's a crack in the cement, and she actually kind of bends down and takes a long fingernail and plucks it in, and she just kind of rips up, and you watch as the concrete just falls away, and she just pulls off what this crumbling concrete like it's dust and powder, and before you is dirt, the dirt ground that would be behind this wall, and she looks to it for a minute, and she walks up and drags her fingers across in an archway. And you watch as roots start crawling through the ground, coming through the dirt and locking with one another, braiding with one another from the ground where the concrete walls come all the way around to the ground again where it makes an archway. And with that, she just kind of taps it with her index finger and the dirt crumbles within the archway. And beyond looks like, it's hard to see. It's shifting, it's moving, wits awareness, both of you.
Oh. Is Ava down here?
I would be like
Oh.
at the stairs.
Okay,
Okay.
You
Like,
do
kind of-
not get a wit's awareness on this then. Only
Okay.
Dakota.
Okay.
Oh, fuck yeah, 3.
3?
Nice.
It looks like woods at night. Like a dark forest is what it looks like. Not a familiar one. It's not like, oh, I know that tree or I know that forest, but it's really coming, like almost though you're looking at through like 2 feet of moving water, just like rushing water. And she's like, well, all right, come on. And again, the Rowan just doesn't move and he looks confused. Looks like you're not getting your voice back. And she grabs him and shoves him through. And you just watch him go through. She looks around. All right, no permanent damage. and she just walks through. And as she steps through, the looks of water actually falls to the ground and creating a puddle. The roots themselves seep way back in, but the concrete never gets replaced.
Fuck you!
As you
Yell
scream,
behind
fuck you! To the wall.
I liked this cell.
And so you hear that, Ava. You hear,
Ava will come downstairs.
And as you come down the stairs, you see the rusted cell, a huge patch of dirt, and the crumbled concrete.
The
She
hell
took our
happened?
Rowan.
Well, unsurprising that, a fae would... Actually, that is surprising. What the hell?
How did she kept talking about, like, this one's not mine, but who did the blah, blah.
But she took him anyway?
Yeah, and took his voice, which could have come in handy way sooner.
Several days ago. Okay, well, shit. I mean... I guess he's in Feylands now, living a happy life as a
Hey,
tree creature or something.
tree creature?
I don't know. What do they do in that land?
Okay, well, you know what? She came in here, she rampaged, she tore up my cell, and along the way, she took our problems, so...
That is kind of frightening, though, that if we have anything that has to deal with those creatures, she can just show up at any time. That was a time bomb waiting to happen. If Rowan was in major danger somewhere else,
I should have just killed him upstairs.
She wouldn't have showed up if you did.
I should have just killed him.
I mean,
Now
it doesn't.
Now I feel guilty, Ava. Do you know how much I hate guilt?
But I mean, why? He was gonna be either dead by your hand or with
Yeah, but
a
now he's not
fae
dead.
lady.
He's taking an extended, unwelcome holiday vacation with the Fae from hell.
Well, shit, I don't know, but maybe it's better life there. For all we know, he could be having the time of his life.
Are you trying to be convincing? Was that Jen or was that sarcasm?
No, she was being sarcastic.
Okay, you know what? Upstairs, we decided this is Ollie's problem, and as much as I love helping Ollie with his problems...
Well, we're gonna have to now decide who's gonna be the one to tell him that his Styx son
What's
was
awareness?
taken.
Fucking...
Sorry, I'm waiting for time to pass. I ain't done with you yet.
I rolled a 2 success.
2?
2
I rolled
successes.
2 as well.
Okay. You both hear a knock at the front door.
We got this.
Let you answer it.
We can get this all fixed. We have the money. Just an FYI, don't be mad. Okay, I'm gonna go upstairs.
I
Wait,
follow,
upstairs
but
or to the
I
front
can't...
door. The knocking at the front door or the upstairs?
The
Upstairs
knocking
is
at the front door.
right?
Oh, wherever it is. I thought you guys were not in the basement anymore. My mind. you were upstairs.
Yeah. I'll hang
So-
back, but I'm there.
So as you make your way, Ava, you make your way upstairs and you go to the front door. You just kind of crack it open a little bit.
Yeah.
What you see standing out the outside is a haggard-looking young man. He's got not wired, but kind of long and frazzled brown hair, deep hazel eyes with bags really sinking in. He's got clothes that are dirty and ripped, and clearly he looks like he's been traveling for a long while. Have you met Matthew? Has Ava met Matthew?
Oh my god.
I think that yes. I think we've all met Matthew at one point.
So then you would recognize him. You saw him in Madison. I think that was it. Ollie has has quote unquote regular correspondence compared to the two of you.
Regardless, Ava's not going to immediately let him in and just be like, "Can I help you?"
I don't know if I want. He leans in. He kind of leans in really close. Can we talk about it somewhere not outside?
All right. I think I remember you, kid. Come on in.
Who is that?
It's that kid from Madison.
As you let him in and the door shuts, he looks a little bit more relaxed, but you can see him in the light now more clearly, and you can see how just pale this boy is and how ragged he looks. And he looks around, he takes kind of a deep breath, and this is going to sound weird, but is there somebody here yelling for help?
You can hear it too? What? There
Is it Rowan?
was.
There he goes, is it Rowan?
There was a Rowan here yelling for help, yes.
Not any longer.
No, some red-headed fae lady.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, she just beat you to it. What the heck is going on? How were you also able to hear that?
It's part of the contract. Magic, so you wouldn't understand. Fetch, what he is, when they're in trouble, they have an innate instinct to call for their creator, for help, to save them. Sometimes they'll answer, sometimes they won't. If I ever find myself in danger and I call for help, she'll come looking for me.
Oh, jeez.
That's why I felt it. I created Rowan off of what knowledge I had, but maybe it's because it was with her magics. I don't know. I'm hers. I'm her changeling. And
Changeling.
Maybe when he calls, it's not focused on. I
Well,
couldn't pretend to understand. I'm taking guesses, but fuck.
She knew that he wasn't hers, yet she took him anyway.
Yeah.
And opened this portal, apparently, and took him away.
My apologies. I couldn't get here quicker. Thanks. And he actually turns to leave.
Wait a minute. You're just gonna leave like that? That's it? You just came all the way here? How did you even get here?
Arcadia and its matters don't matter to Kindred. I'd rather keep it that way. Have a good night. And he actually turns to leave again.
What the
Hey! She
And
wasn't
Dakota
done.
shouts.
Yeah, I come over to her. Hey, she was not done talking to you. Don't be fucking rude.
He does turn around slowly. He doesn't look aggressive or anything.
We're just asking a few questions because clearly we are not in the know.
Us lowly kindred, we won't understand.
He doesn't nod. He just kind of listens as you say that. It's not about that. It's just none of your business and affairs that don't pertain to your lives.
We just need to know. We just need to know what's going to happen to the kid.
In all honesty, I don't know.
Okay, can we
Sooner
get
I
him
get-
back?
I don't know. He shrugs. I'm sorry. That's the best I can do.
Question: would you be able to take us to her if the opportunity ever came up? I'm not saying not right now, but just...
He just thinks, he's like, no.
Okay. Well, we do kind of know how to get to her, I guess. We've done it before.
You know what? Since you came all this way through, your Arcadias or whatever, you you should stop by a pub called Lights Out. Ollie could probably use a chat with you.
He clearly takes that in, chews on it for a minute. Once I figure out what happened to his boy, I'll make sure I pop over, but I need to see if I can get a hold of him first.
Well, unless there's a third boy, it's gonna be real hard to get in contact with them now.
You said he was taken by the Fae, no?
Mm-hmm.
What, you have like a direct line to Rowan?
He shakes his head, not so directly. Fae magics are meant to be misunderstood. There's aspects of it that I couldn't even tell you how they work. I'm not one. I can merely scrape the surface of their abilities.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but you made, stick Rowan.
Yes, for Ollie, with Ollie there. His request, not mine.
Using,
Sticks.
Magic.
redheaded Ginger's magic?
What I've seen her do. What I've been able to piece together over the years of being her slave.
So she could just walk up in here and take something that's not really hers?
I dare you to debate whether it belongs to her or not.
Well, this is why I'm trying to get more information here, friend, because a debate's not any good if I don't have all the details.
There's no way your kind could debate with me. and walk away understanding what we're dealing with. I'm sorry.
We could try.
When you cross over and go into the realm she exists in, she is a god. How do you stop a god?
I didn't say stop a god. We all know you don't stop gods. You make
How do you
deals
take
with
something
them.
from a god then?
You make a deal with them.
I refuse to make a deal with her ever again.
Well then, I'm gonna be real honest with you here, friend. Ava and I, it's been a long few days. We both would like to maybe unwind a little bit, and our problem that was locked in a cage downstairs was blown wide the fuck open by little Miss Fairy, who walked in and took our problem away. So I'm gonna see that as a really plus kind of thing, and hope that you come around next time, when we don't have as many problems.
He shakes
And
his head. Okay, sorry.
And since, you know, you don't want to share information or play nice, get the fuck out.
He actually, when you say that, he nods like, I apologize, I didn't mean to frustrate. And he turns to the front door, opens it. As he takes a step through, there's a loud clap, and there's a puff of leaves, and he's gone.
I guess that's how he got here. Okay. Well, this has been a night. I don't
And
even know.
And very
You know what?
angry.
I am
At
too.
Who? I don't know. I just...
Me too, actually. I'm also hungry and angry.
Hey! I understand hangry now.
I just... Can we get out of here? Can we just, like, go somewhere?
Where you want to go? Anywhere.
Literally anywhere.
Okay.
Well, we know where Dakota's going to go now.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Wait,
So is that where you want to go?
We should feed. We're in our own territory. Let's feed. And you know what? I was saying this earlier before I was so rudely interrupted by our captive downstairs. When Holly's not around, we can go party, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think we need
I
that.
know that I was not very nice the last time our dear friend Bass came knocking at the door. But you seem to like her. So
Yes.
we could make it a ladies' night out.
Yes,
I feel like I owe her an apology.
probably. If we want to, you know, have a good working relationship, as you and Ollie have stated, that's the relationship we will have with her, then yeah, maybe we should. That's what people do. They wine and dine. They're
Okay,
people that they're working
I'd
with.
say I was sorry. Whining and dining.
Oh my gosh,
Was not
Dakota.
in that mix.
You can't just say you're sorry. You have to do something to show you're sorry. So let's show her.
Right. Okay. A good time.
Yes.
Let's go get a tattoo.
Sure. Let's go get a tattoo.
Okay.
So where do you want to go? You want to go see Boss?
So we gotta eat. We gotta eat.
Okay.
And then we got a boss, and then we can go find trouble.
Hunt in your territory for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof, that is so.
Just give me your numbers.
Yeah.
Give me 1 sec, I'll say.
Yeah, fetches are fun.
Oh my god. Okay, I got a 3.
3.
Yeah, 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna feed down to 1, and then I'm going to rouse and heal 1
Superficial.
superficial.
Okay. Let me know if you get a hunger.
Okay. I do not.
Would you like to
Woo!
heal another one then?
I sure darn tootin' would.
Rouse again.
Rouse. Okay, I did get hungrier.
Ooh.
No more rousing for the night. That's
Okay.
it.
So you heal
but
2 superficial.
whoop whoop. Dakota's
What's your
feeling better.
What's your hunger at?
2.
Okay.
Wait, you were at 4 when you fed, or just 1 or 3?
I was at 3,
Okay.
and then I fed down to 1, and then I got hungrier because
Okay, cool.
of
Just
that
wanna- I
last
just
rouse.
gotta do- I
Yep.
just had
So
to hear the
yep. Yep.
All right, Ava. What about you?
I rolled 4 successes.
Okay, you feed. How? what
Just
are you
1
at?
dot. I just wanted to
Okay,
feed.
so you're just gonna send somebody back, kind of feeling good and drunk. That's
Yep.
not a concern. feeding in your territory is super easy. Where do you go from there? Do you go to the little apartment complex in Anarch territory?
Yeah. I mean, we don't really know how else to get in contact with her, so
Yeah. I'm feeling rebellious tonight, and I don't mind strolling through Anarch territory. Fuck it.
Sure. So you make your way down south. It's not that far of a walk. You're pretty much on the border. Granted, some of the space down south has been gone to the Camarilla since the Anarchs have gone weekend, but it's maybe still not that far of a walk, an hour, maybe two at most, until you see the 3-story brick apartment building before you. You can hear the music thumping quietly on the other side of the walls. And as you walk up those stairs, there's some people sitting on the stoop outside, a couple of them smoking a joint, one person drinking, and they just kind of give you a friendly wave while one of them actually just grins widely. He doesn't wave, he just takes the joint out of his mouth and just gives you this smile that just doesn't come off of his lips. And as you wave, he just gives you a nod as he watches you walk past, up to the front door, where you reach forward and jiggle the handle, see if it's unlocked, and it is. And as it swings open, that thumping, muted beat now rushes out the front door to give you that techno throbbing throughout the building. As you walk in, you can feel the floor beneath you shaking with the bass that's coming from the floor below. And once again, just the hallways filled.
I think they should turn it up. It's not loud enough.
And Ava, you're not quite sure what she said. You heard Dakota's voice. Yeah. But there's a couple people making out in the hallways. There's one person who's making out looks at you from the corner of their eye and gives you a wave. Person
Shouldn't
stumbles
you be
forward.
concentrating?
You say that to them as you walk by, and they actually will reach. The girl will actually reach forward to grab your hood and try to bring you in to be a third. Push them away. As you walk by, somebody walks over to you each with a palm of colorful tablets. They just kind of offer for you, hey, ladies.
No thanks.
Why don't you hang on to them? You look like you'll
He
need them
grabs
more
a
than
bright
we
blue
do.
one and just goes, oh, you're lost. And he scoops them up and walks away. Soon the stairs come into view as people are kind of pushing past you, and the smell of the kine is filling your nostrils. They're all imbibing something. If you were to pull or pluck a random one of them and drink their blood, there's a certainty that you would be feeling a type of high, buzzed, drunk, stoned, maybe a mix of the three. You're not sure. But up the stairs you go to the second floor, where people are more milling about, less intense as it is downstairs, but much similarly, a lot of people just kind of hanging out. Some people napping, a lot more people sleeping up here. But you kind of just go past the second floor and up to the third, where the silence really settles in. The door that leads into the large open space is closed, and as you reach forward and push it open, it not being locked, you are once again met with the delicate scents, the gorgeous outline of pillows and other kindred and kind milling about. The bunny actually is hopping towards the door as you open it, and they're in the middle of leaving, waving goodbye to Boss, who's actually standing in the back where she was talking to you last time, looking like she's having polite conversation with a few people whose faces you don't necessarily recognize. The bunny actually hops up to the door. There's a moment where you're not sure who's going in, who's not going in. He steps out of the way eventually, and that awkwardness is settled as you two pass through, and he hops on by, and he pulls a joint out of his bunny pocket in his bunny suit, and he kind of shoves it through the dark hole in his mouth until it disappears.
Such a fire hazard!
I give a shit. And as he turns to shut the door, you just see smoke coming out of the hole in his mouth, and he just kind of gives you one of these as he shuts the door. Silence is once again greeted with your ears, just a small vibration of the music 2 stories down. And Boss, as you watch him, you were saying goodbye to the rabbit, you actually see 2 familiar faces who you weren't entirely sure you would ever see again, especially after how that conversation went last time.
Yeah, and as I see them come in, you can kind of see in front of Baz is a table, and there's crystals and some kind of candles that are lit, and that's kind of why you see people kind of stepping up in front of on the other side of her. She kind of puts her hand up and looks over, and she's like, I see you have come back to return. Didn't think I would see you here again after our
let
last
us interrupt.
conversation. I have actually just wrapped up here.
As you actually walk up to the table, you see this crystals, and you see a tarot deck kind of sitting in front of her.
Perhaps one of you would like?
The last time a woman read my tarot, she told me I'd die in the desert, and I did, so no thank you.
Well then, Perhaps you.
I'm always down for anything really. And Ava gives like a wink. And look, sure. Let me do my reading. That's what you say, right? I don't know.
So, how many cards do you pull in a tarot reading? Out of curiosity,
I
'cause
will
don't
be
know.
pulling 3. One for
Okay.
that one without. I guess she'll just explain it as she's doing it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna
Have
pull
you-
the first card.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
she's like-
I'll tell you what you pull when you pull.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a reading before? You
No,
can just send them
I
all to me in a
came.
DM, Mathis, if you want.
I will do my best. Yeah.
My family growing up was Catholic. We didn't really do any of this kind of stuff. So no, I've actually never.
Well, you see her kind of holding the cards in her hand. She takes a deep breath, and you actually see for the first time, maybe if you're more receptive than others, you might notice that, like, she actually doesn't look like she's under the effect of any kind of drugs, whereas, like, the other times that you've seen her, she has definitely been.
Probably.
But she looks pretty sober right now. You see her knock her hand on the pile of cards, and she begins to shuffle them. And you just hear the sound of shuffling and the smell of like chai tea kind of like going through your nostrils. And then she puts the cards into 3 piles, and she kind of like blows on each of them. And then she picks up the cards again and like kind of like pushes them across the table. And she says, well, then this should be very fun for you. So, ask me a question.
So can you like tell me about like my love life or something? Is that like what you
Is that
can
the kind of reading you want? We gotta swap up a little bit.
Dakota actually might look embarrassed. She would have blushed had she have roused the blood.
You see Ava being like, "Wow, my love life."
If that is what you want to hear about, then that is perhaps
Of
what
course.
the cards will tell us about.
Well, I'm gonna give you a new card for this.
Matt's is like shit. Like I was
No,
gonna
it's
read about
fine.
like your
No,
future.
it's totally fine. Yeah,
So,
I know what
question:
you-
while this happens, this space is what's here other than like pillows and chill spots? What else
That's
is in
totally
this
up to
room?
Boss how she
Yeah,
keeps this thing.
so this area seems like you've walked through a portion, the first 3 or 2 floors below, and it's the first floor was a little chaotic. The second floor seemed like more sleeping quarters. This seems like a very tranquil space. There's mostly just pillows. It's very colorful and bright, plush things. It seems like this is more a place for people to like meditate.
Are there
Quietness.
Are there books or artwork on the wall?
There might be some like tapestries, like those cloth tapestries with like patterns on them, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing historical, I guess, is the more direct question. Like nothing that looks terribly old or has great significance to your clan, versus say just like
I wouldn't think so,
Decoration.
but unless Mathis thinks so, but I don't think that would
That's
be.
entirely up to you, and if
Yeah.
they're not there, then no.
Yeah, it's mostly just it's
Cool.
a very colorful like plush room.
You know what? You said are people in here meditating?
Probably. There might be a
Is
few
this
Go
the
people.
place for
join them.
meditation?
I
There's, like-
never get
there's,
to
like-
meditate with anybody else ever. Dakota always meditates alone. She's gonna go find a pillow.
All right, we see Dakota like, "Oh, love life, good God, all right." I'm going. And she goes and finds a pillow somewhere, and she
Yeah, and I'm
kinda
like,
pulls it up.
okay, I need to calm my anger a smidge. I ate dinner. I'm feeling better. Yeah, Dakota will meditate while Ava gets her tarot read.
Okay.
I'm giving you the last one right now for the love life. So the latest 3.
Okay. She kind of pulls out the cards, and she's like, love life. Oh, that is something that I can definitely do. Sometimes the cards tell us what we want. Sometimes they tell us what we have missed. You
have
look
to
like
tell me
you
that.
might have a very interesting love life.
Interesting is a word to put on it. Yes.
It looks like she kind of like motions and like is pulling something like, but you don't see anything. And then she kind of slides one of the cards over and flips it over. And She looks at it and smiles. It's upside down. The card is the star. And you see kind of this card with, it's like upside down. So for you, you can actually see it exactly how it's supposed to be. For her, it's like upside down. So you see like a lady who's kind of like undressed, like naked, holding like two pitchers. And there's like plants and like water underneath her growing up. And then there's stars above her. And she's like, interesting. This one, it means you have been faithful in your love before, in your past. But perhaps there was... sorry, I did it backwards. There has been faithlessness in your relationships in the past. Discouragement, insecurities.
How does Ava react when she hears these things kind of come forward?
Ava kind of pensive for a moment. Then she nods. There has been some, yes. Some maybe in my most recent love life.
Sometimes this can be self-criticism, or maybe loss of hope about romance, or maybe even lack of confidence.
I think loss of hope would be the most accurate. I mean, for kindred, what even is love? There's lust all the time, but I don't ever think I would actually fall in love with somebody.
As she says this and she's explaining it to you, you're shuffling. Then you're shuffling, ready for the next card. And as she finishes saying that, the next card actually falls out the top, landing exactly as it says. She speaks about these
You actually don't
concerns.
shuffle the cards in between.
Okay, well, whatever it is, the next one.
Actually, Mathis.
Sorry.
Just kidding.
Listen, Mage is not done yet. I don't know the rules for Mage yet. Carol's really big.
Yeah, the card kind of like slips, like falls, like maybe like the table gets
Like you
hit
made a
little
motion
bit.
with your hand and
Yeah.
you skimmed the top of the deck and you
Yeah,
accidentally
yeah.
knocked the top deck over.
Well, it's interesting to hear. You say that you don't think that you can fall in love, but you ask this question. But it appears that fate has something for us. And she pulls down the next card, which is Temperance.
Is it? Or is it? I thought it was Reversed Tower. Did I give you the wrong one?
You gave me
Oh, I
reverse
think you're right.
Temperance.
No, you're right. Yep, Reversed Temperance.
For you, it looks the right way up, but for me, it's upside down. And you see a card that has kind of like this person with maybe like some kind of like sun crown around them and wings and like a little triangle in their chest. There's two glasses, like what do you call those? Chalices.
Chalices, yeah.
And there's like some kind of something flowing through them, almost like looks like a rainbow flowing from one cup to the other. And she's like, this is temperance. But when it is aligned like this, it is imbalance, extreme, discord, recklessness, sometimes hastiness.
That makes sense.
Ava kind of says with there's like this coat of venom in her voice, almost like she's being called out, and a mean girl doesn't like being called out.
It's true.
When it comes to love, though, it means that in the present, perhaps you are going to extremes for love. So what you said, this lust, maybe you are lusting for something. All or nothing romance is sometimes the other thing, where you only want it all or nothing at it ever. And in this, sometimes it can be impatience. That will be the downfall of your love.
Impatience.
Oh yeah, sorry. How does Ava react to this?
There have been times where I've kind of wanted it all or nothing. Maybe just jumping into things, saying yes to things. without fully thinking about it.
That is how I run my life, so I know all about that.
It's interesting as Ava brings this up. Ava, you think about you're really thinking. It's tough. You obviously asking for a love life, but you led 2 different lives. The life before your kindred life and the life after being embraced are actually rather wildly different at a core level for Ava. Prior to this, you were extremely all about your job. You were strict, made sure you were there for your photo shoots. It was all about making sure your art was the focal point. And in that, you let everything else wither away. There was only the single, you didn't even know you were sick. Like only Zach knew you were sick. You had been so absorbed by this art, this future that you were planning for yourself. You cut many people off. And then when you returned, things changed. What you focused on changed. You became, we saw in Ava season 1, Ava was much, much more bombastic, impulsive, looking for those freedoms in a lot of ways. And as Ava's thinking this, and she's saying this and comparing her 2 lives, that's when Boss reaches forward and pulls the last card. Was Ava saying anything while she's kind of going through this out of curiosity?
No, she's more in thought as she's hearing these words from Boss. She just kind of takes it in and absorbs it.
Boss smiles, pulls the next card, flips it over. The devil. And you see a card with kind of like this goat man looking creature, and there's like 2 what looks like maybe octopus or like squid-like creatures with like X's on their faces, like they're dead, down by the bottom of this creature's legs. There's 2 star symbols and like a big circle around this goat-looking creature. And in the center of the circle, above its head and above its horns, is the infinity symbol. And she says, This time it's upside down for you, so you actually see the infinity symbol first, and then it goes up to these upside down squid creature. And for her, it's upright. And she says, your future is interesting.
Interesting?
Well, this card usually means some kind of oppression, addiction, obsession, maybe a dependency, a powerlessness. But when it comes to love, it is what you say. Lust, hedonism, self-disregard for your lover's feelings, obsession. But keep in mind, my dear Ava, she kind of like reaches out to you. The future doesn't always have to be as it is laid out in these cards. It is a path that we take. These are the choices that we make that bring us to these places. But the cards tell me this is the path of your love life.
Do you think that it's always the most accurate? Like you said, you don't have to follow a fate that maybe is laid out in front of you.
Again, it all depends on what you do. If you continue down the same path that you have always, let's say, that every day if you go to the sandwich shop, that there will always be that same person there.
As you say that, I twitch a little bit.
That the same meal will always be presented to you. Then you will always be on that path. But let's say someday, instead of getting a sandwich, you decide to go get a donut. Well, then your path is not the same.
But what if you relied on that sandwich? And going to a donut would...
Give me a wits insight check, boss.
Oh, I love it. I don't think Boss is gonna know.
I imagine
You're not gonna know. You're not gonna know what she's talking about. You are gonna, however, be able to pick up that she's
I'm
wits
implying.
insight. And you may make me a manipulation subterfuge roll, Miss Ava.
Oh my
I'm
god.
not
Dakota
gonna pick up
pops
on
one
this.
eye.
You never know.
open
You
from
could
the
crit.
opposite
She could
side of the
roll
room.
no success.
Ava,
This is my favorite thing.
We'll see.
Ava kind of wants Boss to catch on to something, but she will have no idea what she's talking about.
So
But
if you
got
are
a one.
foregoing your roll with one success, Ava's alluding to something. You don't know what the fuck she's alluding to,
I
but
think she's alluding to
so
some kind
say-
of love that she's like
you
relying
might,
on. That's how
you might
Baz
think
is
it's a
taking it.
relationship
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, that's fine. However,
Baz definitely
Boss
thinks
is-
it's a relationship.
Yeah.
So you said
I like, what if you rely on that sandwich and going to something else would just destroy everything?
well, it appears that the cards have followed in line with what you have stated. When you become dependent on someone else, it can feel like a safety, like something warm. Baz laughs at that because most kindred don't feel warmth.
Correct.
And then she's like, but it can be volatile. Depend on someone else. Sometimes leaving the sandwich behind and tasting a donut is not so bad. But again,
I'll
I
keep
do
that
not
in
know
mind.
the details of your love life.
Thank you, Boss. This was enlightening. I didn't mean to end on such a serious note. I was just in thought.
Sometimes these are more serious matters. I get a lot of people who come to me about love, but sometimes they are other things. Finances, careers.
Power.
Power,
Of course.
greed.
It's interesting. I've really not had anybody talk to me about my future before, so I'll keep
we
these
live
things in
very
mind.
long lives. Why not
We
talk
do.
about the future?
well,
Before you continue the conversation, is Dakota actively listening in, or is she actively trying to meditate and like?
No, she said.
minute the sandwich
somebody
came up-
said the word
Yeah.
sandwich,
Her, like,
one
eye
eye
opens.
popped open. Yeah.
like
was
she's like,
what the hell are you doing? That's the moment I started listening.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. I just want to know what.
Yeah,
Use
yeah,
the
yeah.
sandwich analogy.
It was perfect, and you were so
was- it
innocent, and
was-
Yeah, it was
perfect.
Yeah,
She
it was
has no
perfect.
idea what you guys are talking
Yeah,
about.
Dakota's like one eye on Ava at this point.
Continue, Ava. Sorry.
after the reading, like Ava will kind of like clap her hands and say, "Well, look, we're here to say hi and have fun." Dakota and I. Dakota?
As you look
What?
over there,
I'm meditating! I say very loudly
Baz
in this
leans
quiet
in
space.
quietly, but Dakota can still hear because she's not trying to hide it. She's like, I didn't think she would want to return, but I had the feeling you might.
Okay, well, about that, all right.
As
and
Dakota
I'll stand up.
And Baz is picking up the cards, and you see her kind of like holding like a sage thing and kind of moving it around the cards.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then-
cleansing him.
Yeah, and then she puts them in what looks like this kind of like ornate box, but it's just a wooden box.
Yeah.
As Dakota walks up, as you're cleansing the cards and whatnot, as she takes a step up and you're collapsing the cards, at the very top, the one actually falls forward. It is to you as Dakota steps forward. It's upright death.
Nope.
It's which one?
Upright death.
Oh,
I don't know how maybe Boss would just think it fell. Maybe she would interpret it as anything else. But as you're kind of cleansing it and whatnot, you're trying to like put them together where the top one falls forward.
looking my.
No problem. I know I caught you off guard on that one.
Do you have the
Yeah,
link?
Dakota's like, I'm not. Nope. When that
sure?
card
It's
falls out,
just the one you
Dakota
sent me on the
Dakota
Discord.
does
I can
not
tell you what it
look.
stands for.
I'm looking for it specifically on the list.
Yeah, it's down towards. It's like towards the top middle somewhere. It's right after temperance.
Death. Okay, gotcha.
Yep,
gotcha.
yep.
It falls out, and before she puts it into the thing, she's like, Is it upright or reversed?
Upright.
Even though you might not have wanted a reading, Dakota, perhaps the cards and the stars are aligned for you.
Oh?
She Pulls the card
before
up
you
and
say
places it on the
words,
table.
I'm curious.
you're always curious.
Yes, it's the best way to be, Dakota.
Okay, but before, okay, can I just say my piece before you do this?
She puts her hand on top of the card and says,
Okay. I just
looks at you.
wanted to say that my demeanor the last time I was here was unkind. And I am sorry. I am sorry for my excessive aggression. That was not nice. And I just want you to know that people don't often walk in to our coterie without wanting something from us that puts us in a lot of danger. And I'm gonna be real honest.
And I imagine her face is still very bruised. Like, she looks like she's still been in a fight because she's not completely healed yet.
I'm just real tired of having to fight people. So friends don't come along very often. So
I take your apology, dear Dakota. And I know that might not always be an easy thing to do. But I
can we
apologize
not
as
turn
well.
that card over?
I apologize as well. I did not mean any harm to you or your friends.
I know. It's,
Ollie had said to me that there may have been a problem. So I was just trying to tell you there are other options.
we appreciate that. Options. So you have the option of not reading that card.
Dakota
I
is
do.
very, very openly
don't-
scared of tarot.
Don't know. It's the superstition. Right? I don't.
Sure.
Every time Muju magic gets like brought in to our lives between Saito and fucking sandwiches, shit is bad. Faye, Dakota is done with magic. I just want a beer and some loud music and bodies grinding on each other. Like, what's a girl gotta do to get a party? And so she's like, I just don't. Before you read that card, we wanted to know if you wanted to come out with us. I had somebody I kind of wanted to maybe introduce you to.
I do like meeting new people.
Your interests may align.
Is this with your... This time she actually just says, she says it very quietly for no one else to hear. Your friend Rowan.
Man, it is your lucky day. Are you sure you don't want to read that card? Because boy, do I have information for you.
I do not have to read the card. Like I just told your friend Ava. It's just the choices we make. The stars may be aligned for you, and this card might provide you some insight into your life, but it's your choice whether you want to know it or not.
Mine certainly gave me some insight.
I'm happy to hear that.
Well, as much as you may think Ollie did not like you very much, he's handled your Rowan problem.
Can I insight check that? Like, know if
He
they're
is
actually
not
telling the truth?
lying.
Okay. All right.
He has been handled. She doesn't look like she's got an ounce of lie on her face.
Well then, perhaps it is time for my 3-day cleanse to end. And she pulls the card back, puts it back in the deck, shuffles it all up, and continues
Dakota
to
takes an
investigate.
unnecessary sigh. She doesn't breathe. But she does anyways. She does not want to see that card.
Puts
And
it
on
into
that, yeah, go ahead, please.
yeah, she puts it back into the chest. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, and as on that, there's like this kind of air of relief across Dakota's face, and a party to be had. We'll go to break, and we'll be back in 8 minutes or so with a new scene.
The audience wants to know if the camera sees the card like before it gets put into the thing, like for dramatic.
Boss did
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, if Boss already did so, because I spoke it, the camera would have been behind Boss the whole time. And so as we're looking at Dakota over the table, we're seeing
Yeah.
what you're drawing.
Perfect.
But you slide it back in, you tap it together, you place it down, and as everybody kind of
So you
takes
guys
that
have
sigh,
seen it.
yeah, the audience has seen it. And as we take that sigh, we'll fade to black and we'll come back in just a few minutes.
See ya. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Silence of Shadows, our Vampire the Masquerade campaign. Ooh, that was fun.
Yeah. We're on. I was thinking we're on episode 49.
Mm-hmm.
Next week
49?
is 50.
Thanks.
Yo, we should like, woo woo, we're
I know,
over
right?
the hill.
That's true. After next week, we'll have 80 episodes of Vampire.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty awesome.
Somebody said
Wow.
that's 2 straight weeks of nonstop watching.
Wow.
So what I heard is challenge. Somebody out there has not watched them all.
For
I
2
want
weeks.
I want your
Sit
2-week
down.
binge notes. When you come out the other side, do you still have your humanity?
We still get people. I love every once in a while. I'll pop in the Discord and there's somebody new who's like, "I just discovered this show
Yeah,
and
I
I love
know.
Saito," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
You
Join
like
the
them
club.
now. Yeah. It's always great.
All right. Well, let's dive back in. Unless there's anything you need to say, Maggie, any announcements or anything.
Oh, no, I'm good. We
Okay,
do
cool.
that at the beginning and the end, so we're good.
Let's do it. So we're gonna actually pick up as the screen fades in from black. As always, we're greeted with sound first. This time, the familiar sounds of club music on the other side of a rattling, thick iron door. And as Ava, Dakota, and Boss stroll up down the stairs from the tattoo parlor upstairs, and they walk across the grated walkway over to the door, then ripples into existence a Nosferatu, a familiar-looking one the first time you all came. He gives you a wide grin and then looks over past your shoulder and says, who's the new friend?
Well, she can
She got
introduce her. She can introduce herself, can't she?
He looks
Boz
back.
moves forward and offers a hand and is like, I would be Boz, and who are you? She kind of looks
He
him
looks-
up and down.
And as you look him up and down, he grabs your hand gingerly and brings it back and says, "The best Nosferatu you ever met," and gives it a kiss. Kiss your knuckles.
I'll be the
Bill
judge
knows.
of that, she says.
My friends call me Rat Tail.
Rat tail.
I look
You
at
wanna write that
Dakota.
down? You might as well write it down.
Oh, I'm gonna add it. Yeah, Dakota
Yeah.
says,
So, all it took was 2 beautiful women for you to give up your name.
He actually looks to you and he's like, "What are you talking about? 3." And he gives you a wicked big wink.
Andy's a charmer. Andy's a charmer. Okay.
okay, I'm adding that to his character description.
That's you will.
Okay, Dakota's like,
May we?
2 of you may.
So what? I can't have a +1.
He looks. He's like. He looks to the group of you and is like, "Looks like a +2."
Last time I checked, Ava had an invitation.
Did you?
I looked to Dakota like, oh, Dakota.
You were the +1.
Mm.
All right.
2 of you are welcome to enter. If Miss Edith finds some time for you, maybe she can give you an approval for. Your name was what again? Boss, was it?
Boss, yeah.
He actually bites his lower lip.
See, now what I'm getting the vibe is that you really just want to hang out with my friend for an extra 10 minutes while I go ask Edith's permission. So,
I'm okay with this.
She's
So-
okay with it, girls. And he like just kind of opens his hands. And he walks between you, Dakota, and Ava, and he like puts his arm all around you, and
Is
you can
there
see
like a pedestal or like a thing that
there's
he
like
can,
a bar, like a little metal bar.
Yeah,
and,
she
like,
jumps up and sits on it. crosses
He
her legs.
he jumps up next to you. He puts his arm, like he moves his arm over your shoulder. You can see the scabs all down his knuckles that go into his sleeve. And he's like, "All right, ladies, go get permission. Me and Boss are gonna get to know each other out here."
you owe me.
and Dakota, like, yeah, she looks at him like,
he eventually, I didn't give him
I
a
see.
look. He actually will turn his full back to Boss. And then, okay, he can give you like
Okay,
a
okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
and he's like,
Yeah,
he turns
Dakota's
back
like,
around.
alright,
He
alright,
spins
alright.
on the ball of his foot back to Boss, and he's like, "Looks like we get to know each other a little bit, beautiful."
I'll
What's
be
going on
back.
there?
and I'll
They're gonna go get permission from the boss lady. Her name's Edith. She runs this club. You ever heard of her?
I have heard.
Hopefully good things.
I have not heard bad things.
Well, that's a good start. I wouldn't want to hear any negative things about the lady who runs this joint, you know what I'm saying?
Well, maybe you can tell me some good things then.
Well, one, she is the most... I don't know how to put this delicately. She's the biggest chain smoker I've ever met in my entire life. But her voice only sounds like she smokes like half that. It's a thing, it's a sight for your ears. Is that how it works? Ooh. Did anyone tell you you're really pretty? And he just kind of like shudders a little bit and he like nervously twitches.
Some say so. Some think I'm not their type, but that's okay.
They're lost. Can't quite. And he bites his lip and he looks you up and down again. Can't quite exactly what you are though.
Does it matter?
I guess not. The mystery's kind of titillating.
I liked mystery. It can be fun. It gives you something to look forward to.
It's been a while since I've had something I don't know. All right. Next time I see you, let's make a bet.
All right. What is
Alright.
this bet?
I'll know what you are next time I see you. And if I'm right, I get a date. And if I'm wrong, what would you want?
Well, I'll think on that.
We got a deal? Little game?
Deal. She offers her hand.
He reaches forward and eagerly takes into his. And as he shakes, Dakota, 10 minutes have passed. You've been milling about outside. And then you open the door and you see them shaking hands.
Well,
Oh, it's been
Don't
10
let-
minutes. Why is he looks over and startled?
yeah, I go like, oh, don't let me interrupt.
Oh,
It's
shut
just
the
a
fuck up.
handshake, right? Yeah. And I'm like, did I get my permission?
Yes.
Great.
Yes, you got your permission. It's fine. As you kind of like, okay, come on. He again, next time I see you, whether that be tomorrow or whether that be in a month, no, I'll figure it out. And he gives you a wink.
She winks back at him, jumps down from the counter, and follows. She's like, "That was an interesting experience."
You join Dakota and Ava over by the door. And as you walk into the club and the door shuts behind you, you were greeted with the same visuals that I've described in the past. You're at the very top of a catwalk that's with a spiral staircase that leads to a large oval room where kindred and kind mingle openly. It's what's known as like an open fang event or a bare fang event. No regard for the masquerade being paid here. Completely breaking the law of the Camarilla, but laws are only laws if they're enforced. I mean, there are plenty of areas that have clubs like this, and this isn't Boss's first open fang club before. And as you swirl down, bodies are mashed together, some performing hedonistic acts while others are simply having conversation, and others are sharing a single person, or as Boss would know that they're called, a blood doll, as they're being feasted upon by 2 to 3 kindred, each obviously only able to sate one hunger, but it's less about the hunger and more about the experience of sharing that person and what that's like. And it's very familiar. It has very familiar vibes to it. And as you finish going down the staircase and you kind of join the room, you actually see the oval room leads to that large hallway with private tattoos rooms on the right and left, to large double doors that swing open into where Edith typically resides, as Dakota and Ava know. As you make your way into the area, though, what is your course of action at this point? All three of you.
Buzz
know
is
you'd
taking
like to-
everything in. She's smiling and she's like, "Now this is the kind of place that I like to be." And
I
she's like
told
grabbing a
you.
drink. She's will take a bite out of somebody if they're walking by. Like she's in it.
As you walk down,
She's like going at it already.
Yeah.
Like as
the
we're
first
walking
blood
in.
doll that makes themselves available to you is a middle-aged woman who is just kind of makes her way over. She's got blonde hair and pigtails, and you just, without even words, you literally grab her by the collarbone with a yank. She's come stumbling forward to you, but she's giggling and smiling the whole time. And as your fangs sink into her, the giggles kind of turn into light whispery moans before you feed just a single dot off of her. And as you lick her wounds closed, you see her shiver and she kind of stumbles off to a nearby chair where she sits down to recover from that experience. And Boss kind of lifting the fangs and cleaning them as the fangs retract back into her gums. And I don't know if you were hungry at all, but that was delicious one way or another. And there was something in the system. You could feel a bit of an alcoholic
I
buzz.
have one hunger.
Okay, but you didn't kill her, so it stays at home at
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So you literally fed for lust, for gluttony. It was you tasted
yeah.
it for the resonance of the blood, and it was extremely joyous. The mood she was in, you can taste, was pure ecstasy, happy. and you, like I said, you pick up a little buzz off of the blood, not enough to actually impair your decision making or anything, but you know there was something running through that blood that was drug or alcohol related. And that all happens within, I don't know, 6 seconds
That's
of you
even
walking
better
down.
for Baz. That's her jam.
Yeah, no, this place, it like literally, it's your frequency through and through. And as you make your way down, like I said, as soon as you hit that floor, that whole exchange was like the first 6 seconds of you getting through, this person stumbling by and just watching Boss instinctively and reactively just know what to do and look like she's been here 1,000 times before.
I knew you would. Well, we knew you would enjoy this place and fit right in. The Painted Lady, it's great. This is kind of like our new place to hang out, as long as we get an invite. The Rack, it's overrated. This place is the place to be.
I'm sorry. Did my furry ears just deceive me? Did Ava say the Rack is overrated?
I mean, you've brought me here enough times now to really enjoy this place. Enjoy the thrill of it. What we've had some bad experiences at the Rack, so I can't.
That's a fucking understatement. Hey,
I can't
Boss,
not associate
No
it.
one likes a buzzkill. That is for sure.
Very true.
Would you like to meet the lady that owns this place?
I would. It appears that there's somebody who I should meet.
She's a good person to know.
Yes, I think the two of you would have some things to talk about. Your interests seem possibly aligned. Mathis, do I just walk up in there and go knock on either door? Like,
There's guards always. There's guards in front of the doors, always.
Okay.
It's just a request to put in, and if she's got the time and she deems you worthy or important enough to talk to that night, she'll speak.
Would you say, okay, Dakota goes, you know what?
You can put in a request. And
I put in a request and I come back and I'm like, you know what? If she wants to see us, she'll let us know.
As Dakota's making her way back, and she's saying that they're in her final steps up to the group, can I just get from Dakota alone, because where you are currently positioned, a wit's awareness?
I really gotta do something about this roll. 4. Hey!
That's actually great. 4 or up is what I'm looking for here.
Nice.
And as you're looking through the crowd, just kind of your eyes running through it. Over by, there's no corner, it's an oval room, but by a further away area by the wall, talking to a singular individual that you don't recognize. It took you a minute to even be sure that this person you're recognizing is who it is, since you've only seen them that one time. Looks like McTavish is hanging about.
Oh!
Does he see me?
Doesn't seem like it. He seems occupied. Like I said, he's having conversation with somebody you don't recognize.
I imagine the both of you see my eyes like dart and like
that would be a wit's awareness from Boston.
Freaking laser beam.
Just like an eye shift that's like important. Ava will have it a little easier than Voss to recognize it because you know.
Oh, I rolled
Ava,
0.
0.
Oh no, you don't see it. That's a 4.
Okay.
Oh!
Boss the opposite.
Yeah, you crit. You absolutely. You see her eyes immediately dart as she starts talking to you. You see her eyes doing what they people do, looking around, but then they lock and they never come back to you except for a couple times to make sure that she's walking towards you. It's obvious to you, but Ava's distracted.
I have feelings about McTavish, but you don't
know it's McTavish. You just know that Dakota saw something.
I know about him though.
You know about him, but you're just seeing the wit's awareness was just to catch Dakota's eyes locking onto somebody.
Okay,
that's all. So she's coming back, and
I know stuff about him and what he's doing, but I don't know who he what he looks like.
Correct. Yeah. You don't know really his face.
Okay.
You just know he's around.
Sorry, I thought because I knew that stuff that
Dakota
I knew
goes,
what he looked like.
Edith will go back to us. The two of you go do that. You go do that thing you do. I'll be around. I'm gonna go.
Weren't we just gonna go introduce Boss to Edith?
Edith will take us when she's ready.
Okay.
So I assumed I'm just gonna. I
Boss,
need to.
let's go dance.
If the stars do not align for us to meet Edith tonight, then that is okay. But maybe stars will align for Dakota to find her love. And Baz is looking in the direction of McTavish.
Okay, give me a wits awareness now as you're because you caught her eyes. Give me another wits awareness as you're looking over to the direction.
Yes,
Let's see if you
it's
see
hilarious.
Come on, Baz doesn't know. It's like you're just saying.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
she
excuse
doesn't know. There's just
myself,
another
like,
yeah,
gangrel
no.
hanging off.
Yeah. Please, boss, give me another wits awareness.
This
wits
is
awareness?
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this is perfect.
Oh, I thought this
is
was for
perfect.
someone else to make. I thought it was for
No, just no you because you're the only one that actually saw her look that way. So you're
3 and a crit again.
Is it a crit
Oh my
again?
god, yeah.
3 and a yeah.
You see the person she was looking at. He fits a description. You've never seen him before, but with a crit, he certainly fits a description of a particular somebody.
They look familiar.
As you see boss look over and she just goes and she says like they look familiar in that kind of way.
Are you saying? Okay.
I'll see you both on the dance floor.
Dakota's like fades way back into the crowd of people towards McTavish.
So she's on her way over. Boss,
I wanna like just ride the crowd and stay low key.
Ava, now that boss is also like realizing what's going on, you get a wits awareness now as well.
Okay,
Nobody's throwing out the name.
I'm just here that like I'm like so confused.
Yeah, exactly. Ava is incredibly baffled right now.
And
I rolled a
think Boss
3.
kind of leads in is like, who is that?
success.
And points.
And so as she lists who is that, you actually look over and with 3, you recognize him with a little bit less success needed because you saw his face for a lot longer.
Yeah.
It's McTavish.
Oh, that guy. Oh my God, McTavish. He's that gangrel that we met or know of or whatever. Dakota's been wanting to talk to him or something. You know, it's a gangrel thing, I guess. The guy doesn't seem very friendly. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
I wouldn't want to know him.
I did tell you what I thought about him and what he's up to, so.
Oh, right. You are not a fan of his.
It is not for me to be a fan of. I just think that perhaps the Camarillo would not agree.
Right. That he's, he's definitely a thorn in the Camarilla side. That's for certain. But there's nothing we can do about that now. He did what he needed to do.
She grabs somebody and brings it over to Ava and is like, that is exactly correct. Drink?
Drink sounds good.
So, as you go over to get a drink, something that mills through all of your heads a bit is McTavish has performed a rather large crime. The killing of a primogen, never mind 2 technically, is something that if anybody sees him, he should be being dragged to the Camarilla immediately. And yet, as he stands here amongst other kindred and he displays, it doesn't seem not only does nobody's bothering him, but almost as though everybody doesn't particularly, it's more that he seems like they're enjoying themselves. Nobody seems to be act afraid of him, which tells you a couple of things, or at least leaves you with questions. It could be that Edith keeps a protection on him. Maybe there's a history between the 2 of them. Could mean that he's simply cocky in his skills. It could mean that he knows pretty much everybody here. There's a bunch of different reasons it could be, but the fact that he's willing to show his face here, at the very least, speaks to volumes of his confidence while within Edith's walls for one reason or another. You 2 go get a drink, but
But
Dakota
Baz
heads
doesn't know that he did that, right?
No, you just know that he was planning something big, and you did hear that one of the primogen got offed, but you don't know which one, and you don't know how.
Gotcha.
You
Okay.
Boss could suspect it was him, but there's no way to know.
She's
I-
not that clever.
I think Ava would actually fill in boss as we're having drinks. Ava would just kind of give the latest gossip of like last week we went to this emergency Elysium and we found out that guy is the one who offed 2 of the Malkavian primogens. It was a whole drama. So she'll kind of like fill
So you're
boss
getting the whole
in.
scoop.
Yeah.
Baz loves this.
You're
Yeah.
getting the mean girl gossip over.
Exactly.
Exactly. So boss gets filled in. Meanwhile, Dakota, what are you doing as you make your way over to McTavish?
I'm guessing he's still talking to somebody.
Yep, he's having. Do you want to eavesdrop?
I want to just kind of scoot over. If there's like a pillar, he says it's a round room, so I don't know, somewhere to like lean and just chill. I want to see if he notices me.
Okay. Are you trying to be noticed or not?
I am. I mean, I'm not making a scene of it, you know what I mean? But I'm like within
Gotcha.
eye shot. I'm around, but I want to eavesdrop and then be like, let's see if you notice me first.
Okay. You're gonna kind of stand around for a little bit. Can I also get a wits awareness, as you're gonna be within close enough distance to maybe pick up on conversation?
Okay, a 2.
Okay. With a 2, you don't pick up details, but you hang around long enough to hear maybe a word here and a word there. Eventually, though, the conversation ends up becoming more, call it casual, maybe jovial. Their volume picks up a little bit. What they're actually speaking about, you can now hear, and they're talking about the more useless and like, how'd your night go and what'd you do tonight. It became whatever they were talking about very clearly shifted at some point during the conversation. And about 5 or 10 more minutes pass before a third person actually joins them. You recognize it because it's one of the guards that was over by Edith's door, one of the ones that was there when you put the request in. He puts a hand on McTavish's shoulder and leans in and says something. You're actually able to hear it with 2 successes. He simply says, she's returned. McTavish nods at that, and he follows the security guard as he gives a very quick goodbye over down the hall on his way to Edith's room. Clearly being walked over there for something.
I follow without trying to be noticed. I'm just gonna like scoot. I want to see.
You're trying to blend in with the crowd.
Yeah, blend with the crowd
like
and go all
in.
the way to the door. Yeah.
Can I get a charisma performance roll?
Oh no!
As you are trying to socially maneuver your way around and look like you're
Can I choose to do subterfuge instead and be real sneaky about it?
Subterfuge.
Or is there a stealth? I could do stealth. I would properly take a stealth check.
Yes, but it would be high because other people are going to see you. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and it's
I
going to be
see
like,
what you say.
while he might, other people are going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? You know?
Charisma stealth?
I will bend to charisma stealth.
That's so ridiculous. I appreciate it, Mathis.
I think charisma stealth, there's an argument to be made, and we're trying, I'm okay with it.
Okay, a 3.
3 successes versus him. I'm going to actually make a roll here.
Oh, no.
Just to see if he notices. He's rather trained in this stuff, especially with his history.
I mean, I really do want McTavish to know I'm there. So,
I know.
You know.
And he will notice.
Okay, great.
You catch eyes with him for a moment and nothing more. You know you locked eyes. You know you caught eyes for a brief moment. But there was no recognition other than you guys met eyes. And eventually he's led into the room. He doesn't stop. He doesn't look to talk to you. You just know that you met eyes. And he is escorted into Edith's room, where the door is shut behind him. Do you wait outside of it, or do you go back for Ava and Boss?
I mean...
And if you're looking to get a tattoo
now.
started, you don't have to speak to Edith.
That's good. That's good to know. Then Dakota's like, well, if I gotta wait for it, I might as well... So Dakota woes into a room or grabs an artist.
Yeah, Dakota not really knowing how to put in, obviously would and only knowing that Edith is the way to go. You find the nearest empty tattoo room. You go in, you kind of take a seat, and you just hope somebody shows up. And a few minutes pass before a bald woman with tattoos all down her scalp, down her neck of various wildlife. Of birds and snakes all coming together, all going down. As she turns around, you can actually see where it becomes one giant serpent all the way down her spine. Disappears into her shirt. She sets up. She starts putting the tattoo stuff around, and she just simply looks to you. And she, with a gentle smile, she just says, "Evening, ma'am. What are we interested in tonight?"
Did you do that?
I point to her head.
No, I don't do my own work.
Do you do things like that?
Of course, it won't look. And she kind of just gestures exactly the same, but we all have our own style.
I want something. Maybe big's not the right word. Something covering. You know,
Covering what?
my whole body. Long term, anyways.
Certainly would have to be long-term, over the course of years, at the very least. With something so ambitious, I'm interested to hear the thought process. What is it that draws you to such, some call it repentance?
How old do you think I am?
Which age are we speaking of?
No. How old do you think I am? Pick one.
In your mortal years, you're somewhere in your middle to late teens, I would guess.
I am stuck in this body forever.
There are
And every
those-
person that I come in contact with doesn't treat me like you treat me. They can't see past the facade. So, I thought I'd give them something else to look at.
And is there meaning behind it beyond proving a point?
I would hope so.
And what is that meaning?
I want to be.
Dakota stops because she can't quite find the words. You can tell she's struggling to like own what it is she's trying to say.
The woman keeps her mouth shut and watches on patiently.
We all find different things beautiful. Sometimes, most of the time, we don't look like me. I want to look like a piece of art.
You sound like a rose.
Maybe.
Well, I don't mean that as an insult.
That's because you don't know me.
Of course. First impressions and only that.
That being said, it's not that I want to be a rose. I want the roses to struggle with the fact that I am far more beautiful than they will ever be.
An interesting desire.
Maybe.
We'll see if at the end of these years, if this is truly what you want, that's still how you feel.
So what, are you stepping up to do all of it?
If you wish, different artists can take different pieces. It's entirely up to you. It is your body. As you said, you are stuck with it for eternity or until the sun greets your skin.
I'm stuck with a lot for eternity until the sun greets my skin.
So are we all.
Do you want to take on the challenge?
It would not be my first long-term piece. I'm confident I could handle it. But perhaps after my work, you will have different feelings. Maybe you won't enjoy how I do the process or my art.
Maybe. But the process is part of what interests me. Nothing like a little pain in your pleasure, right?
She smiles.
And Dakota like unzips the jacket and the arm where we already have like the one tat, she kind of pulls it off and she says,
Might as well continue where we started.
Do you have anything in mind?
You're the artist, right?
Yes, but you spoke of an entire piece. Have you not put any thought into it?
Maybe not.
Impulsive little thing.
Maybe.
All right, well. She takes a moment and begins to unpack her inks, looking at your sleeve and tracing the tattoo that's already there. Trevor's work?
Yeah.
Very distinct. He has an eye for that kind of thing. After she begins to unpack and finishes unpacking all of her tools, she reaches over to you, and much like before, there's it slices an incision on your arm. You can feel your vitae ooze forward. She takes her thumb and she smears it across a large part of your body, having to recut your arm a few times as it just reactively heals so very quickly. But she goes to, I don't know, halfway down to your elbow from the moon down. And she covers it while muttering to herself in a language you do not understand, that carries connotation and weight that you couldn't begin to comprehend. And as she finishes muttering those words, much like before, you feel no difference. She brings the tattoo gun up, needle rather, to your arm, and she lays it up against the corner where the blood begins. And she simply says, "A fresh beginning, a clean sky to surround the moon. No clouds in sight. Just stars and a clear future."
That sounds nice.
And as taking that as your approval, she takes leans back a bit. You can hear her own leather pants creaking under as she shifts her weight a little bit and leans in. She's left-handed as she does this. And as the needle pierces, that pain ripples through your body again. There's the urge for the beast to come forward and rip her apart, but there's process to this. This is a ritual. It keeps your beast at bay completely. There's no need for a fury frenzy when this happens. Instead, your mind drifts to wherever Dakota's mind feels like it needs to drift for this. Whatever thoughts of criminal past or difficult decisions, or maybe perhaps something that just pains her personally. What is it that comes to Dakota's mind as she feels this pain once again course through her veins and her very blood?
Tonight, I think it's the man, the father, who was so kind to her. Rowan's dad.
Mm-hmm.
That was so kind to her when he didn't have to be. They both were. And she killed him. To inevitably lose Rowan.
Is it more the feeling, the frustration of that night, the helplessness of it all, the fruitless feeling after all is said and done, that she latches onto?
Yeah,
or is
that it was all for nothing. That man's death.
That man's death, not so much in Dakota's mind that man's death is a tragedy, but his death served no purpose. There was no need to remove a kind from the board. That taking that Rowan out ended up resulting in more confusion. The attract of the Fae, that clear sky that she puts on you to clear your mind from these cluttered thoughts, to see the bigger picture and hopefully step back and be able to contemplate. And while you were failing so heavily at bosses to meditate, because being able to be pulled into any kind of meditation when you hear sandwich or anything happening, here in this pain, one may even consider this a form of meditation for Dakota, losing herself in it to feel the feelings she needs to and work through those complications. And whatever it is, whether it be a frustration for the loss of a useful tool, a sadness at the loss of life, but at the needless chaos of it all, that's what takes her mind for the next 2 hours, while she is over and over again going over the lines, coloring, and when it's all said and done, a clear sky that kind of gradients out to your typical skin color where the rest of the work will end up going is where she pulls back from. And the pain stops the minute the art piece is done. The needle pulls from your skin and you are snapped back as though the pain wasn't there in the first place.
Dakota kind of takes a look at it, smiles, thanks her.
Yes, thank you. That was much needed. I feel rather grounded, and I have an idea.
If you ever want work from me again, Wednesday nights like tonight, in this particular room is where I usually work.
Then you'll see me every Wednesday night.
Should the room be open, merely take a seat and I'll be here.
Then I will see you next Wednesday.
She smiles and actually comes over to actually just like turns you to the side and just really inspects her own work,
Yeah.
giving it a little look around, and she afterwards nods in her approval of her own work, and then just ushers you out as she says you may leave when you wish. She begins to pack all of her things and cleaning up basically the spot. You actually see, by the way, in case you're curious or anybody's curious, after she smears your vitae with her thumb, you watch her clean it off. She doesn't lick it. There's no there's no cost there. The cost is being part of the club that comes with certain ties. You're seeing things that are masquerade breaches, and you yourself are participating in a masquerade breach. One goes down, so does everyone. And so she cleans up, and does Dakota just kind of look it in the mirror up and down?
Looks it up and down, like puts the jacket on. It's probably a little tender, you know.
It still stings like a bitch.
Still stings like a bitch, but that's for her, not for anybody else.
Exactly.
Now she's like, now, there was a label calling my name.
And I'm gonna head back out.
And as you make your way back out, you eventually find Ava, and it's as you approach Ava and Boss, Ava's finishing up the retelling of like everything that's happened that she's been filling Boss in on, so that Boss has a full understanding of what's happening here. McCavish, whatever it is that Ava, kind of broke down for her. Ava, it's up to obviously up to you, to the information you gave her. So if you want to just quickly give me what did you?
Yeah, no, basically what happened at the Elysium, and that Jackson has now been seated. I mean, this is all like general kindred knowledge.
Dead,
Yeah,
You're giving her Cam some Cam information.
Boss. Nothing super secret or compromised.
Boss, this clears up quite a bit for you. Now you're not with it makes sense now that the big thing is the elimination of the Primogen. You know of Mr. Jackson. You've heard of Kevin Jackson before. He's a venture that has some sway here in Chicago. It doesn't surprise you that he ended up taking a seat either. So for Boss, it cleans up. It clears up quite a bit, and that's when Dakota shows up, and you're like, and then Jackson took the seat, and that's kind of where everything was, and that's what you hear, Dakota.
Dakota.
So you're all filled in.
Well, in one way.
I figured I'd catch her up on the latest happenings of the Camarilla. So
I expect nothing less, Ava.
So, did you find Mr. Gangrel, Mr. Angry Gangrel?
I made eye contact.
Okay, you didn't say anything to him.
He was called in to speak with Edith.
I see.
And Gangrel aren't really like Toreador. We don't just walk up and knock on the door and ask for sugar.
It really isn't that difficult. You just walk up.
Well,
and you say
that's
something.
not really how we do things. Instead, I'm gonna piss on your lawn until you figure out it's me, and you come knocking and we'll have a conversation about it. And then I'll ask for sugar at the end.
Or why not do all of it?
Okay. He knows I'm here if he wants to talk to me.
I'm that. I'm like, okay, he knows I'm here. One of the security guards from the door actually walks up. Miss Dakota, you were looking to speak with Edith.
We were. Ma'am, we escort a friend in.
He just kind of nods, moves his head, and then as if to say to follow.
I put my hands out, one for each lady.
Dakota,
Take a
you
hand.
you have this handled, right? Yeah, I don't think I need to be there.
You
for
just
the
gave
meeting.
me finger guns, which makes me nervous. Whatever you gotta do. We're gonna go do this. I'll see you later.
Yes, I don't think I need to be there for the meeting with
Are
Edith.
you leaving? Are you?
No,
leaving?
no, I'll be here.
Okay, then we'll be back.
I'll just be taking care of things. So
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Dakota and Boss walk off, but the camera lingers amongst the crowd, watching Ava as she watches them leave. What do we say Ava do once they disappear into the crowd?
Ava wants to get some ink. She's been here 3 times with the tattoo in mind, but has just never wanted to actually.
Nice.
jump
So
the gun and do
you
it.
probably watch them then over the crowd as they head into Edith's, and as the door opens and closes behind them, we then watch as Ava breaks away from the bar, quickly downing what's left and finding a nearby open room. There's no way to know what gets you what, or like who the artist is. You know where Dakota came from. Do you go to the same one, or do you pick a different one?
I'll pick a different one, actually.
You pick an empty one on the left, second door on the left. And as you walk into this empty place, you kind of just pacing around, your high heels clacking, or you can feel your high heels clacking, but you can't really hear them over the music. And then eventually, the curtain flies open rather bombastically before it slides shut behind again. As this Kindred walks in and spins around, his hair is 4 different colors: a bright green, a neon pink, a gorgeous sky blue, and a purple on the left, and it goes across like that. He has incredibly colorful clothing, but when I say clothing, I mean pants and socks. He's not wearing shoes. He's wearing slippers over his socks, and his pants are green on one side and red on the other. Completely shirtless, however, with gorgeous artwork. When you look at him, and you clearly see the bombastic colors, the bright presentation, and as he spins to you, his bombastic personality already beaming through, what you see on his chest screams an entirely different story. It's an artwork of the hands of hell reaching forward, grasping at a sobbing, kind of amorphous individual. You can make clear what would be eyes or a mouth in pain and tears that stream down them, but there's not enough detail to really place who this is supposed to be as they reach toward the sky, particularly a sun and a moon together. And as he reaches towards, you see countless bony hands, some with flesh hanging from them, others just pure skeletons grabbing on and ripping this person down. And all along the sides, you simply see large trees that kind of arc up in this circle to meet the moon sun in the center. And he has this enormously large smile, and he's like, "Oh my God, you're beautiful." Let me guess, Toreador Venture, I'm not sure which.
Toreador.
He walks over to you and he takes in a breath, and as you say Toreador, he's like, "Toria, of course. Oh, well, my apologies. My name is, well, let's just say you can call me Tommy.
Tommy.
Like
Ava.
the White Power Ranger?
I didn't know that the White Power Ranger's name was Tommy, but today I learned.
Oh, Green Ranger?
I didn't grow
That's
up.
fine. That's
with-
fine. You know what?
it's-
That's totally fine. That's fine. Either way, what brings one of the garden here?
Well, this place comes highly recommended. A few of my friends have gotten some tattoos here, so I figured I would get one as well. I think I chose the right room. I love your art.
He looks down and then looks back up to you. Again, his smile, just like enormous. Is "Thank you so much. I designed it myself."
Oh, what was the inspiration?
Oh, a story for another time and something I don't have time for tonight.
Of course.
We're here for you. What can I do for you? And he does this enormous, like a gaudy bow as he drops down.
Well, I've had a piece of art in mind that I wanted to get done, and I've thought about it for a while, but I just haven't really decided to jump the gun and do it. But I think tonight is as good of a night as ever to get it done.
Best time to plant a tree was yesterday. Second best time is today.
Of course. It's something to honor a friend that I lost.
Well, I am sorry to hear of your loss. I hope this person was a good friend and
Yes.
brought a light to your life that the others did not.
She was very important to me. The idea that I have, it would be, I'm thinking on my arm, maybe my left arm, maybe on like this part of the arm, and she'll like point here. It's a scepter, a long scepter with a regal crown at the top. And
Sweetie, half the venture symbol?
is that a little too on the nose?
Unless you were embraced tonight. So your friend was a venture.
She was.
Spill the tea, princess.
She spill the tea. What do you want to know? Her life story? Do you want to know my relation to her?
Anything you're willing to tell me. Anything that'll make this tattoo that much more meaningful to you. And then his giant smile kind of just drops, and he leans in.
She taught me a lot. And we were close. We were bonded.
Oh. I am very sorry to hear that.
It wasn't necessarily a bad thing. At least I didn't think it was.
Not everybody does.
Unfortunately, I blame myself for a lot of the reason that she was killed.
Why is that?
I think I got her in trouble.
Ventrue don't put themselves into positions of risk and power without knowing trouble follows.
It's true. She was definitely looking for that power.
Did she achieve her goal?
It's hard to say. Every Ventrue is so ambitious that do they ever truly achieve their goals? She died along the way, but I think she achieved some of her goals.
Was it a long time ago, this friend?
It seems like it was. Now, there's been so much going on that I haven't been able to think of her as much as I used to, but I want to have something to remember her.
You bear guilt for her loss. I'll ask no more than that. A piece of art in mind, a scepter of a sort, at least initially.
I had
But
an
that,
idea.
as you said, is a bit on the nose, unless you don't mind other people knowing.
Maybe something. I apologize. The Toreador in me is very direct with my artistic vision, but I am very open to your thoughts. One other thing.
There's nothing wrong with your decision. I mean, I don't wish to push you away. If that is your desire, so be it. I know my clans. I've not.
Your clan?
No. My clans,
Clans. Okay.
Yes, because I've been educated. But if that's what you wish, there's nothing wrong with that.
Another thing that I wanted was something along the lines of my clan. Vines, a rose, thorns with black around it.
Then perhaps, would you like me to pitch you an idea?
Yes, I'd be happy.
If you wish to keep the theme of royalty or something along those lines, as the Blue Bloods like to assume themselves as, we could simply stick with a crown. No scepter, no, not even the same crown on their gaudy little symbol. Something a little bit more simplistic, a little classical, something to pull on the medieval times. And then we add a little age to it. A little chipped here, a gem missing there, and then over the crown, the vines crawl and wrap. In the center they twine to a rose. The one who believes she snuffed out this crown. Who grows and becomes better and blooms for everything they did with you.
I love it. That's perfect.
He nods and the giant smile returns. Fantastic. Take a seat, lie down, pull up your sleeve. I don't know if you did, well, he looks you up and down. Clearly you've never done this before. It's gonna hurt. A lot.
That's what they say.
Try to be ready as best you can.
Look, one of my coteries got a few of these already, so if she can handle it, I can handle it. I'm ready.
Okay. And as he does so, he pulls out, he like reaches into his back jeans pocket and he just pulls out a dirty like razor. He kind of lays your arm down, he just jams it in and just tears as kind of harshly as he can, and you kind of ooze vitae forward. I mean, you feel it. It's not like you don't feel it, but it's not like it's this excruciating pain. It's nothing. And within seconds, the wound closes. He has to cut a couple more times as he begins to smear the blood in the area that he wishes to, where you wish the tattoo to be. And afterward, as he finishes mumbling words in a language you don't understand, but definitely sound familiar to the kinds of words that Zach used to mumble every once in a while when he played with magics that he shouldn't have. It's kind of that lingo. Saito, much closer to Saito. No, it's not Zach. It's Saito that you kind of recognize through these words. And as the needle revs up and you can hear it, he's like, "Okay, brace yourself." And as the needle pierces through, the pain ripples through your veins. Your mouth opens as your eyes kind of roll back, and you just stiffen up. The sights in your mind, I imagine, are that night. The walk through the labyrinth, the being brought into a room with chains with no windows, seeing her body dragged in without a jaw or a tongue, and being offered this gift and imbibing it because you knew there was no other answer. To say no to this meant certain death. It wasn't really a choice. Nothing Sybil has ever given you has ever really been a choice. It's been a long time of you being told by others that you were given a choice. But as you recur this nightmare, and you remember the words she said, how she was presented to you, part of you can accept that Sybil, as much as she speaks to care about your individuality, your choices, when you are presented with the facts, every choice is either do what she wants or risk death. Is that really a choice at all? And that's the thought that sticks with Ava. Buries herself in her mind, can't quite let go. And as the needle's pulled forward and the pain ceases and you're kind of, oh God, how long was that? And you look down at the work still bleeding. You realize you have a tear kind of running down your left eye, a bloody one, as you wipe it away and you see the blood. Work at it a bit. He doesn't skip a beat. Not the first time he's seen people cry. And he looks at the work and he says, well, I say this about all my work, but this might be my best one yet. And as he stands back and he gestures to a broken mirror with a long crack down the center, he just says, take a look, let me know what you think. And you can see as you step up, the black running through the roses may not have been initially what you thought. You've seen certain things. Instead, the black isn't part of the vines themselves. The rose at the very top has a couple of leaves that are falling, and those leaves are black themselves as they fall by the side, while the rose and the vines are pure green and red. And the crown underneath, as described, is rusted a little bit, a big gem in a hollow circle where it would be is missing, and it looks old and weathered.
Ava stares down at it for a good few seconds as she's admiring it, despite it still being kind of raw. She nods and smiles, looks back to him, and doesn't immediately say anything, just has a smile on her face. And eventually it looks great.
Oh, I'm so glad you approve. When one of your kind say it's great, you really know they mean it. And he seems genuine when he says that.
Thank you. This has been a lot for me in a lot of personal ways. So I appreciate you doing this.
He goes, it looks like he's kind of at a loss for words for a moment before he says, well, you know my name, and if you ever want more work done, I'd be happy to work on your body again.
Thank you, Tommy.
No problem.
And Ava will exit.
Yep, and as you exit, he goes back to packing. He's like starts whistling, like whistle while you work is what he begins to whistle while he starts packing up all of his tools. And then we rewind as the camera follows Ava out and it goes into the hallway. Ava stops and we see her walking backwards as time begins to rewind, but the camera stays in the hallway until we see both Boss.
So what do the finger guns mean?
And that's where it picks up.
It means trouble, is what it means. Most of the time.
I'd like to see Ava in trouble. Not in a bad way.
Well, if you keep up at this pace, I assure you, it'll happen. You hang around us for long enough, you're bound to find trouble.
And it's not what I heard, but...
Depends on who you're talking to.
I suppose it does, doesn't it?
It sure does. Edith.
Yeah, as you finish that, you finish walking up to the door, and the guard opens the door, and you're greeted with a familiar sight. Walking into the room, the personal tattoo chair, a few chairs that are surrounding you, with Edith with her legs crossed in a long gown, very conservative, with those tight wrists all the way up to the neck, with one of those long cigarette holders between her fingers as she's taking a long drag. And as she sees you, she with her other hand motions you in, and as she sees Boss. And there might even be a moment of hesitation with you, like, is Boss allowed in? She very reassuringly waves Boss in as well. The door slides shut behind, and she finishes taking a long drag from her cigarette, though the hard orange light instigating a little fear still within all of you.
Yeah, I look away, but I definitely say,
As always, Edith, it is good to see you.
And as she finishes that drag and pulls it out, she exhales and fills the immediate area around her with this thick white smoke. And you too, Miss Rain, and your new friend.
Baz
Well,
like
hopefully-
sucks in a
oh,
little there.
Yeah.
Hopefully to be a mutual friend.
I hear you're the person I should get to know here. She offers her a hand.
And she reaches forward and says, I am the owner of this fine establishment, so it wouldn't be a bad thing. And
I
she
like
shakes
this
her.
place. It is nice.
Thank you. It's been a personal place, my personal favorite place I've run for the past 10, 20 years maybe. I'm glad you've enjoyed.
Someday I would like to make a place like this myself.
Rather ambitious and not a bad idea. We can always use more places like this around. At least, that's my own personal thoughts. But you're not here for that, I imagine, Dakota, unless that's why you're here, to have light chatter. If that is the case, I would have to apologize. I have to send you on your way. I am rather busy tonight.
My intent was to simply introduce you. It
I see.
already seems that you and Bass have much in common.
I wouldn't know, but as she looks you up, I do have, me and the ministry have similar beliefs, at least on certain levels.
I don't necessarily like to label myself as ministry, but it is good to know that you're...
She actually does. She crosses her arms the first time, actually, and actually looks to you. I'm aware that that's not something you all call yourselves by, but I was under the understanding that your clan had come to the decision that that would be your common name. Is there more division amongst you all than I initially thought?
It is more a matter of, I don't like labels.
A personal decision. Fine as it is.
Yes. I do not speak for all of them, I speak for myself.
She gives you a wide smile as her long ears kind of twitch a little bit at the very tip as they kind of go all the way back. She's completely bald, by the way. This is the first time Boss is seeing her. She's got just like shark teeth, just completely rows and rows of shark teeth. She goes in for another drag then, and then kind of exhales deeply. McTavish is willing to see you. Not tonight.
Fantastic.
He's busy, but he's willing to set something up.
Okay.
Next week.
I'll be around, hopefully.
All right. Now, swing by every night. I can't tell you when he's going to be here, so if you wouldn't mind making it a habit for a week, when he's here, you'll get your time.
Of course.
It's appreciated. I know it's inconvenient as hell, but... She shrugs.
I have nothing better to do anymore, remember?
She laughs. I know that's a lie.
Thank you for
He's just a
taking some
busy
time.
man.
Yes, his chatter tonight was very busy.
I think back to his light, how's your day, man? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Anyways, you said something. I think I've told you this, I can't remember. You said something that resonated with me about the Anarchs.
What about him?
Like I said, you and Boss maybe have some other conversations to have.
Anarch aligned? And she just says matter of factly to you, boss.
I don't like to say I'm aligned in any way.
That's dangerous conversation right there.
Hmm.
That can mean one
Perhaps.
of two things. Autarchus, then. To give you the benefit of the doubt.
Let us just say I'm a free spirit.
She kind of like that's chews on that for a moment and shrugs. We'll leave it there then. Yes, I have some interesting thoughts on the Anarchs. I don't hate them. I think they're necessity to a certain degree.
What are you getting at, Dakota?
I wonder the same thing. She actually looks over to boss in agreement.
I'm not getting to anything. I gained nothing out of this conversation. I wanted the two of you to meet because I thought maybe, since you know, boss, you might be moving into old Anarch territory, and since, you know, you kind of inspired me with your chat about needing Anarchs as a really good balance. Never hurts to know somebody, right?
She nods.
That's nuts.
If you are Anarch aligned, or at the very least are staying within their territory, you have safe harbor here. I have no ill will against the Anarch kind. In fact, I think they'd better serve to be an active member of the city as opposed to a passive one like they've become.
And what about the Camarilla?
Camarilla don't have anybody to rail against. They're just going to rip themselves apart, and that does the city no good either way.
So, perhaps...
Yeah. As you go, like, perhaps she actually shrugs. She's clearly still in her own thoughts. You can't have royalty if they have nobody to rule over, right?
Why does anyone have to be ruling over anyone?
You'd have to ask the elders that question, wouldn't you? The elders. That's why. Because that's how they want to run things.
Because they want the power.
Because they already have the power.
They want to keep it. I mean,
She nods, of course.
that is
Name
what
any
most
king
people
in
want.
history. Name any king in history who wanted to give up their power, who didn't want more, to become an empire.
There are some that are born into it that don't want it.
And what is your answer to this then? Seems the logical step would be to remove the elders, would it not? Without the elders in rule, the younger class rises.
I think it depends. Some people want to be ruled. Some people prefer to be sheep. And that is a better place for them to live in. Not all of us. What about a place where we can be free to roam? Be ourselves. No matter
What is
who we
being
align with.
free? What does being free look like to you?
Enjoying life's or unlife's offers,
Openly,
of course,
amongst the kind.
amongst everyone.
I mean what I said. You have safe harbor here. No matter what you are.
Perhaps we could work together after all. I am looking for something.
And I would enjoy speaking with you.
And if you're looking for something, maybe we can make a deal.
If you are what I think you are, why are you here? In Chicago, not here at the bar.
Right, that's what I was going to ask. Well, she leans back. I was here originally to look for friends of mine. To figure out what happened to them. They seem to get themselves into trouble, as some others have. She kind of looks at Dakota. But they seem to always find their way out. This time, perhaps maybe not.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I am too.
And what keeps you here now, then?
Curiosity, I think, at this point. But you know what they say. Curiosity kills the cat. Lucky for me, I have 9 lives. He smiles.
You watch Dakota as Edith also very widely grins. You're an interesting person, boss. It's a shame we hadn't met until now. While I may not agree with you entirely about how you operate, I can respect it.
And I yours.
You're not going to cause any trouble here in Chicago, right?
Oh no. I won't be causing you trouble. Or anyone trouble. That doesn't mean I won't be watching.
Some people enjoy voyeurism.
Especially when you have a front row seat to it.
She leans back and Dakota, I don't know how is Dakota interpreting
I am
this conversation?
listening. I am watching this happen. This is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what Dakota wanted, was to just be here for this to happen.
Well, I understand the desires and the way you wish to live. While you're here in Chicago, it is Camarilla ruled. I recommend sticking within Camarilla law, Bass.
Oh yes. I will bow down to the Camarilla. It appears, I have guidance. She points to Dakota.
Does Dakota
I'm
do
really
anything?
good at doing that.
Do you say that?
Yes, out loud. Yes, I'm really good at that. Very sarcastic.
I think Baz laughs at that, and then she's like, that is precisely why I think we make good friends.
Does Dakota just sit there?
I imagine you're still very busy and you took time when you didn't have to, so thank you. I can just go if you and Boss want to, hang out or whatever.
Edith shakes her head. No need. Not tonight. We have hours of conversation in our future, I have a feeling. Another night.
Baz smiles.
Yeah,
I'm
Dakota,
impatient.
I appreciate you bringing her to me. As she reaches into a nearby drawer by the area where the tools are, and she pulls out one of the cards that are also an invitation. And she just places it gently in the palm of Boss's hand.
Buzz takes it, and Buzz offers her a card that looks like a little tarot card.
Dakota feels like she should get business cards now.
She reaches forward and plucks it from with her very bony, spindly
And
fingers.
says, and the same with mine, if you choose to, want to take a different view.
The gesture is appreciated, and she places it in the drawer where she took the card that she handed you.
Baz puts it in between her boobs or something. I don't know.
Yeah, makes sense. And she looks to Dakota again before back to you. If that's all, I apologize. I will have to rush you out of here. I have other business to tend to.
No need to apologize.
It was good to see you, Dakota, and it was a pleasure to meet you, boss. I hope you return to the Painted Lady in due time.
I shall. This was very nice. This is exactly the type of place that I like.
You are much too kind. Then she stands to say goodbye.
I guess I'll see you tomorrow night, then, since I'm coming by every night this week.
Yeah, you're going to be coming by. Just
Okay.
And as you make your way out, Ava, you've been out for a little while, mingling. You see Ava actually talking to a couple of kind that are just throwing themselves at her, hoping that she'll feed from them or something along those lines. But to both of your eyes, you immediately catch the new tattoo on her arm as she spins around.
Oh, you're back.
I see what those finger guns were all about.
And Ava will look down at her arm and just kind of slightly rub it in pain. Yeah, these things
Don't rub
hurt.
it. Stop it. Don't scratch it.
Yeah.
Did I tell you they hurt? I didn't lie.
I
always
figured.
said the same thing. Was I not clear?
Yes, I knew it was going to hurt. it doesn't take away from the fact that, ow, okay? But hey, now we all have ink now.
Team Ink.
I'm cool, right? I know.
So cool. Well, what now?
I was like, do you end up spending? Would you end up spending the rest of the night partying?
Baz would, for
Yes.
sure, unless they have other things they want to do.
Yeah, we've done a lot of business.
Dakota will
and
probably get bored
things.
eventually. She can't party like they party. She does. Let me rephrase that. She can. She don't party like they party. Like she's gonna have her fill of being around kind and just be like, I'm gonna go back to my boat with my dogs. Bye.
Bye. So the rest of you party for the rest of the evening. I'm weighing my options here right now because a couple things I want to do, but I also don't want to dive into something that I'm going to have to end abruptly. So I'm curious, would you return to Boss the next night, or is this kind of where the Boss visitation cameo fades?
One other thing I wanted to ask Boss if she could potentially.
Well, Dakota leaves, so you have the night partying with Boss, and
And I thought,
the camera
Dakota,
lingers
did
with
you not
Boss
want
and
to
Ava.
do the other thing too? Or you think that'll be another time? At the boat?
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. Oh.
So
Okay, all right. Before Dakota goes, she'll look at Boss and she's like, "Look, I don't have a swanky business card or like any of that, but my place is over at Northerly Isle, and if you want an isolated place to party, come find me."
After party, you say.
Yeah. What does one say? Look for La Bella Vita.
All right.
And Dakota's like, "Bye."
I'll see you there.
leaving, as we watch Dakota leave kind of in the distance and meld into the crowd, Ava and Boss are left alone.
Before we end our night, Boss, I wanted to run something by you and see if maybe you could help me with something. I'm not quite sure who to go to, but I thought maybe you might be able to offer some advice. I need to find a kindred, and I know this is possible, but I need to find a kindred who has powers of dominating the mind and making people forget things. Have you seen that at play before?
I mean, there are many clans that do such things. Closest to you would be probably
Ventru, yes. I really don't want to go to a Ventru for something like this because they tend to look down on problems, and when somebody has a problem, it makes them look weak and all of this stuff, and I really don't want to go to a Ventru if I don't have to.
Well,
There's a Malkavian that I know of. She is very powerful. But whenever I ask her for help, she usually needs something in return. And I don't really know what to offer somebody who is already very powerful.
well, the Malkavians, they want information. You not
Information?
have anything that they can have in return.
Information that I'm willing to give up is one thing.
That is always the problem, right? The balance, so they say.
Yeah, you probably have it best where you just kind of stay out of it, but
It does come with its downsides, too. Having allies is very important.
if you were to go to somebody like this, what would you offer them?
Well, I would first find out what they want.
I guess so. I don't really know what she wants. She's very
Elusive.
Yes.
People in those cases tend to be. They like to play with your mind a bit. See, where I come from, the powers of domination are not the same. They are a bit more wild.
In what way?
We tend to make them forget the things that worry them. To bring to surface what they really want.
So do you have a way to do this, or is that just something that you've experienced before?
Oh no, it is not something that I tend to do. I don't care for that. I want people to do whatever they want. The chaos of it all is always entertaining. But for some of you, you would see that as danger. But I heard that you come with a bit of danger when you do the... And she motions finger guns.
Did Dakota tell you that? Look, I do sometimes get myself into things that I probably shouldn't, but
Is this one of them?
in a way, yes. I'm trying to figure a way out of it.
Getting yourself out of something is not always easy. I know this all too well.
Yeah. Especially when it involves somebody close to you. I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on it, and if you happen to have anything that you think would be valuable, or if you find things, let me know. I kind of have to figure out what to offer, I guess.
Do you have a name for this Malkavian?
She goes by the Witch of the Yards.
Do I know anything about the Witch of the Yards?
It would be a intelligence occult roll.
I didn't put one in a call. Remember, I was thinking about it?
Oh, yeah. That's
Then I
fine.
didn't.
You're new to Chicago anyway, so you probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's a hard roll.
Nope.
Yeah, no. Nope. Never heard the name.
I do not know of this person, but I can see what I can find.
I appreciate it. We've encountered her a few times, and for a while we thought she was a Tremere. Has very interesting powers and abilities, and people who kind of congregate with her. It's just whenever we talk to her, use her, we have to offer something that she can use to study or use for her own gain.
That
Right now, I
sounds
don't
like
really
most
have
people
much to
that have
offer.
Power.
I guess so. I have money, I have power, but I just don't have... I have my good looks, but I don't have much else.
Well, with money and power, you can get the other things that you're looking for, and good looks don't hurt.
Yeah. I'll think about it.
What is this friend of yours? She likes information, you said? Do you know what her goal is?
I have no idea. What was it, Mathis, that Ollie, the last time he went to visit her, he left something with her? Was it the fate?
Oh, the faith, the leaf. The leaf with the abyss in it.
Yeah. You know, There would have been one good thing we could have brought. We could have brought Rowan. Just give it to. Here you go.
This weird child.
She likes things that are unique, and I don't know. Not of this world, I guess. If there are kindred things or other things.
There are said to be artifacts in the world, but those are hard to find and hidden for reasons. Many Egyptian scriptures show them. Tell stories.
Do you still have things like that of your own?
I've never had anything like that of my own. I have mostly been someone more of nomadic beings. I've traveled a lot, seen a lot of things. Partied almost everywhere that you can think. Laying low. But I know what it's like to lose someone close. As you know, this person I was looking for, they were part of my coterie. Well, long, long time ago. It's unfortunate that I find them, well, you know.
Yeah. How long do you plan on staying here? In Chicago?
So far, it's been very entertaining. When I get bored, I will probably move on.
It must be nice.
What does that mean?
If I was just bored, I have to go through all the hoops to get out of this place.
Do you?
I mean, I guess I don't have to.
Exactly.
Well, I hope you stay around for a while.
We shall see. I hope that you are able to find your love.
I hope so too.
Are you going to give me some hints as to who it is?
Who it was?
So it's winning their heart back that you are aiming for.
Unfortunately, I don't think that will be. You see, boss, all the people who I tend to love also disappear. It's not a very good thing to be in love with Ava.
Disappear how?
They die or something bad happens and I never see them again.
There are ways around some of that. The dying part.
I mean, it's one thing to die, but if you disappear from somebody's life, it's the same. And all of the people in my life have disappeared. But
People
I
don't
can't
just
help but hope.
disappear.
One can always hope that there will be room for love somewhere down the line, especially in my nature as a Toreador.
I think there are many people who would like that opportunity.
There's a very old Toreador who recently caught my eye.
Who is this?
You can't say anything.
She like zips her lips and then she like throws the key out.
When you came to our party at the, the theater, you remember Baby Chorus, the group that was playing.
They were very good. I was not expecting to like the music, but They're very entertaining.
The one playing the piano, the pianist, he's a very old toreador. His name is Nero. One could say that I am interested. He caught my eye. But he's very dark and mysterious and not
tall,
talkative.
dark, handsome. That is what every lady wants, right?
I was gonna say, can you just do me a favor and ask Ava what she knows about him? Because
I don't know much about him.
So what is it about him that you like? Besides the obvious.
He's mysterious and talented. Clearly, musically talented.
And have you talked
That's
to
about
him?
it. I think I've said all of 3 sentences to him. He doesn't seem to notice me, which is very weird because usually they all notice me. Even my previous encounters.
Perhaps this is why you are most intrigued by them.
You're probably right.
It's always the ones that are hard to get, the cat and the mouse. This is always fun, that little dance.
But I think I'm also a little guarded because I don't want to get involved with somebody else and have them disappear. So, I don't know.
I always find that it is best to say these things out front.
Should I just tell him I'm interested?
Why not? What do you have to lose?
I guess nothing, other than shame every time we invite Baby Chorus to our theater. It might be awkward, but you're right. I guess I don't have much to lose.
No. Like I said before, if I do get bored and I do leave, you're always welcome to join.
Between us, Ollie and Dakota have talked about leaving every few times, every once in a while. And I never thought about it myself, but when it's offered to me, it kind of sounds nice.
Something
So
to
maybe.
think about.
I appreciate having you around, boss. You're fun. And I don't mean that in a...
appreciated.
I don't mean that in a superficial way, like, oh, you're the fun one to have around. I mean it. It's
Well, I am the
nice
fun
having...
one to have around, am I not?
This is true. This is true. But
I find
there's
that
definitely...
this is always good to have fun. So, did you hear Dakota's having an after party? You interested?
Oh, right.
Or perhaps you want to have this conversation with Nero?
Oh, God. I think I've had enough things for one night happen to me. I will save that for the next time we see him. Let's after party for now. I think
tattoo. Is it him?
Yes.
It's about him.
No, look, I've had a lot of loves in my life, boss.
Oh, that's so good, dude. You're like,
there's
no,
a lot.
it's a different one. I feel just as guilty.
I've had a lot of love. I've had a lot of love in my life, boss.
So a different lover.
Yes. Somebody that I had a different kind of love for than the others.
Hopefully you knew more about them before you got the tattoo on their arm.
Yes, she was very important to me. So, her and I were very close in a different way, and I miss her dearly. So now I can remember her always.
That is very sweet.
One day I'll tell you about all of my previous loves, and it will blow your mind.
I will be very
stories.
interested in this.
Will also take a week.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I love it.
Come, let's go to
The
Dakota's.
after party. Where
Yeah.
whereas they arrived at Dakota's boat, Dakota's where is she and what is
Hold
she
on.
doing? Yeah.
There's a thing that comes into play here, Mathis.
Oh,
This is
what
a
am I
lot of
forgetting?
water, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is a lot of water.
Is
Oh,
it
dear.
moving a bit? It's not just stagnant?
It's a lake. So yeah, it moves. It kind of sloshes back and forth and stuff. There's a river that
Yeah.
runs through it.
When we get close to the water, and then it's apparent that we're going to be going on the water, Baz is like not go like she stopped. She's not moving any further.
Her boat is right there. That's the one.
La Bella Vita.
In case you're lost.
Chipped paint.
Oh, it was a boat.
Yeah, she lives. It's actually. I know it looks kind of like dull on the outside, but it's actually pretty nice. You know, it's
Don't
okay.
do boats.
I mean, it's perfectly safe. We've
No, it
ridden
is
on
not the
before.
boat I'm worried about. It is. She's like pointing at the water.
The water. It's
There are many folklores about this. It is not good. This is how people end up at the bottom of the lake, and then there are just bodies everywhere. It is not good.
I see. You can't go near the water.
I don't want to.
You know,
Maybe she bring party here. We party by the lake. Maybe not all night.
I'm gonna like go up to the boat and yell to Dakota. Dakota!
Stop. Dakota's like, what? Stop yelling.
It's like nighttime, right? This is
Oh yeah, there's a security guard somewhere
Like,
out
look
there.
over there. Like, stop yelling.
There's a
Hey,
book in her hand. She's clearly been sitting here reading a book. Like,
What?
Can you come out here? We can't get on the boat.
Is that just take your heels off? We talked about
No,
this.
boss can't get on the boat.
Boss takes her heels off too.
She's afraid of water.
I'm not afraid of water. That is not what this is about.
Okay. Well, if this is an unsuitable location for the after party, you can take it elsewhere.
She literally will not walk past.
I'm at the
That
end
step.
of this chapter. Oh my. I like slap the book shut and I like stand up and I like stay here. I look at the two dogs and I like
What?
hop off the top of the boat to the dock.
Boss is just telling me about how people end up at the bottom of lakes. And that's very scary and dangerous.
There are many folklores about such things. I don't want to be near the water.
Well,
You know,
It's
This is where I
dangerous,
live.
Dakota. You should not. This is not a good place.
this is the safest place in Chicago.
I would not agree.
My plan works perfectly.
It works perfectly if you're trying to keep me away. That
I'm
is for
trying to
sure.
keep many of you at bay, but you technically got an invitation, which is kind of weird and backwards. Anyways, well, what do you want to do about it? I don't.
We take the
It
after
doesn't
party
go on
somewhere
land.
else?
I'd say we could go back to the pub, but I feel like we should just give Ollie some space.
You can come to my place.
You know, I came back here because I didn't actually think you two come back for an after party. You know that, right?
Buzz always comes back for after parties. There is never an after
up.
party that
You
I
know
have
what?
not showed up
I
to.
believe you now. This is the second time you've shown up to a very awkward after party. That wasn't actually happening. I'm very sorry about that.
I don't understand why you keep inviting me to after parties that are not actually happening.
I meant like, I expected that you would bring the after party. One and two, I didn't know you were afraid of open water.
I'm not afraid of the water. It is dangerous.
Yeah, this
You
is not
know-
anything Ava and Dakota would understand at all.
We've been out on the boat. We've taken like drives around the lake many times. It's usually where we have our most private discussions.
I
because
was gonna
nobody...
let you drive the boat, boss, but you know what?
I think this is not a good idea.
This is very interesting to Ava because she's used to seeing Boss so like down for anything, and then
yeah.
it's like suddenly she's not down to go
Yeah.
near this water.
Well, I'm not gonna force you, but I'm probably gonna just stay here. I'm
I
at the end of a
would not
chapter.
advise it. But like you
Boss is-
said, I can't stop
You
you,
know what,
from it.
boss?
I just think
I
this
will
is
take
very
that
dangerous.
under deep consideration. But this is where I live.
I understand, but you should move.
Oh man, boss went from like free spirit to absolutely scared. It's crazy.
Well, again, take this under deep consideration.
This is interesting because it's actually like a trade with the tarot. Because Dakota was super freaked out with your tarot,
Oh
Yeah.
and it's kind of superstitious in its own right.
Okay, fine. Go find trouble elsewhere. I'm gonna finish my book.
Be careful.
And you know what?
Maybe you should
Your
stay on the dock
concern
while you
touches
read
my
your
heart.
book.
No, I sit at the top and read to the dogs.
Very dangerous.
The dogs, yes.
No,
Yes,
the
they
boat on with the water.
It doesn't leak anymore. I patched that hole.
As it's like shaking her head.
Well, until the next sundown. Yep. Pew.
And I like jump back on the boat.
Crawl back up to the top.
You should check on her. That is not good.
You know, are there other things that you're afraid of, boss? Like crosses or garlic or...
No. This is I told you this is not me being afraid. This is dangerous. Have you not heard the stories? What happens?
No, other than like, you know,
People drown, people die, there are things in the water that take people. It is never good to go in the water.
I mean, I don't really particularly like to swim myself, but being on a boat around, look, it's fine. I understand your concerns to a degree. I'm at least down to go to your place and hang out for the rest of the night before the sun comes up.
Oh, that would be very nice. I need that after this. This is now I'm going to worry about
Lakeside
Dakota, and I don't
view.
like to worry about anything. And the
We can
dogs.
give her a
I'm worried
call.
about the dogs. She keeps them on the boat all day. Like what? She's not there to watch them?
Wow, I'm shocked, boss, that this has been such a concern of yours.
It is.
You know, she just simply says, "It is." You guys start to walk away. Dakota stays on the boat. Now, was there anything else you wanted to go do, or is it simply go after party?
Just after party,
Yeah, we'll
just hang
after
out,
party.
kind of like.
And on it is then the camera pulls back as you all walk toward the street. I know it's a little early. We'll fade to black there, and we'll return next week with episode 50.
All right.
whoop.
Woot. Well,
What an episode!
thank you all for tuning in. We hope you had fun. I'm looking up all the things. Oh, I was like, that's going to be an interesting. She's like, oh, invite her to the
Yeah,
boat. I was
yeah.
like, oh, you have to invite her to the boat, but don't
Yep.
tell her that it's a boat. All right. Well, we would like to first thank Kirby again. If you'd like to get some roll loves in chat to our supporter, Kirby in chat. Thank you, Kirby, for supporting today's episode. You too can become a supporter by becoming a legend tier or above over on our Patreon, patreon.com/roll4it. We have a ton of other amazing things that you can get as rewards as well for supporting us over there. So that is definitely the ideal place to get the most value out of supporting us. Beyond that, we also have Ascension Gubbins Out on Patreon. We have Reaper of Corn, The Scarecrows, and Brondel Bad Bronze stats, as well as our Mass Effect Merc character sheets if you're interested in checking those out before tomorrow. So lots of goodies up on our Patreon. Definitely check that out. Soon there will be a guide to the Hades Gamma Cluster. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned, as well as Ascension Chapter 2, Episode 6, MP3 and After Show will be coming out here soon in like 15 minutes, so you can check that out. And, you can support us here on Twitch by becoming a subscriber, and you get access to VODs early, as well as lovely emotes. And if you're a member on our YouTube channel, you also get those emotes. And if you are a patron, Twitch member, a Twitch subscriber, a YouTube member, you get access to our Discord, which gets you a little bit of behind the scenes time where you can chat with the cast members and things of that sort, which is always good times. Beyond that, I'm going to go check if we got any donations today, and we're going to go around and let people say where you can find them at. So to kick it off, we will start with, we'll go with Dakota. Dakota, when you are not, scaring the crap out of people on boats, what are you up to?
Man, I try so hard to
As
scare
Little Red
people
Dot?
all the time, and it never works, ever, to scare anybody in this game. And all it took was Dakota inviting you over for an after party. No. I'm Dot. You can find me online as Little Red Dot. I'm a freelance producer for Cobalt Press, as well as a couple podcasts, including one called Stitch of Fate. So if you need more VTM, come check us out. Probably some familiar faces and voices. Just saying. Yeah, that's it. I'm all over the place. I'm doing stuff, so just follow me on your social media platform of choice. If it's on Instagram, add an extra T at the end, because that other chick won't give it up. That handle. Yeah, that's it.
All right, moving on around, we've got Ava Heloise, played by Miss Magitech. How are you doing when you're not, mourning a lost loved one that you ate?
Thanks for reminding me, Meg.
No problem.
Hi, everybody.
I'm glad I got to be here for it too.
I know you got to be here, despite not being her anymore, not being Cammy anymore. Hello, everybody. I am Tracy, also known as Miss Magitech. You can find me all over as Miss Magitech on the internet. Feel free to follow me on Twitter to see what I'm up to, because I too, like many of these folks, are doing stuff kind of all over the internet right now, playing tabletop games everywhere. So Pathfinder, Cyberpunk Red, D&D, what else am I currently playing? And this, VTM. So if you like any of those things, feel free to follow me and hang out. So yeah, that is me.
All right, and moving on, last but not least, we've got our wonderful storyteller, Mathis Games.
Oh,
What are you doing when you're not, obviously you're moving, but when you're not
in the middle of
starting
moving,
up drama?
right, exactly. When I'm not starting shit with my players.
Yeah.
You find me here every Saturday. Like Dot said, Stitch of Fate, another VTM podcast. Season 2 will be spinning up very soon. You can find me at Chilluminati Podcast, which is a weekly paranormal comedy podcast with me and two of my buddies, Alex and Jesse. And other than that, Mathis Games. I do gameplay reviews and videos and all that stuff on the Mathis Games channel on YouTube. That's where you can find me.
And of course, I'm Margaret Crone. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all of the places. I do a lot of stuff. I'm here as well, also on Thursdays if you're into some Dungeons and Dragons. And I'm also in a Pathfinder campaign that is on Tuesdays, where you get to see my pecker. And every Friday we have a new episode of Missing Annie Lee, which is a new horror podcast that I'm on, which is really good. The editing has been so amazing. So if you're interested in some really dramatic stuff, go check that out. And a good mystery. Beyond that, I also make video games for a living. If you want to check out the game that I'm currently working on, it is called Ashes of Creation, and you can check that out at all the places that is Ashes of Creation. And I think that's going to be it for us today. Thank you so much to everybody who tuned in, and we will see you next week for another episode of Silence of Shadow. It will be episode 50.
Big 50.
The big 50. Ollie will be returning with us. And of course, we're going to go record an after show. So we'll see you in a bit. Bye.
Bye-bye.